I was sleeping and I was like, all right, let's go. Let's wake up. I gotta wake up.
Crapping that extra
like
1
he's
minute.
fighting a battle in his mind and shit.
I mean, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, and we're live for anybody that's watching. Welcome to the Shakira podcast. I'm playing the Super Bowl.
Oh, no, I missed that. Oh, damn.
I'm playing the halftime show right now, and I gotta say, goddamn, goddamn, there are 20-year-olds who wish they looked as good as they're 43 years old. Fucking J-Lo at 50. These women must be dancing. Must be either that or they have the fountain of youth and they're just keeping it secret.
Felt surgery.
I
was gonna say, you just need to pay that fountain.
Because she barely even has any makeup on. She's like gorgeous. But anyway, I'll have this playing.
I think there are women that you could say that for, but I don't think that's the case with Shakira or J-Lo. At least not yet.
What?
As far as them being under the knife.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. She was under the, she was definitely lip syncing though, because there's one moment where
J-Lo?
J-Lo was singing. Shakira, there was a moment her mic came on, and it sounded terrible. And I think because she was about to talk to the audience, but I think it clicked on about a second too soon. But still, it was entertaining.
Milli Vanilli in that dude.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
this is the football World Cup for you guys, isn't it? The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big one.
But it's global. People watch it in other countries. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, loads of my friends watch it here.
I don't know if it's because for the game or just for the spectacle.
Oh no, my mates used to watch American football. I'm sure they still do now. They used to watch American football all the time. We call it American football. Yeah, I know you call it football.
Well, yeah, it's American football. Football is soccer. We get it.
So let's see, we got some people up in here. 8 people are getting to appreciate this the backgrounds video. So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about today. I think you want to just start with the newest, the latest thing. That's the Wonderful 101, the Platinum Games Kickstarter. You wanted to start there, or
shit's depressing. I guess let's get the depressing shit out the way.
I wanted Terrell to run down the Kickstarter because I haven't had a chance to check out the page.
Okay, so essentially, you want the history of it or just the Kickstarter in general?
Just what the Kickstarter involves. Like, what do you?
The Kickstarter is essentially it started out. The first 3 stretch goals are 50K was the Switch remaster, 250,000 was the Steam version, 500,000 was the PS4 version, and they've just added a 1 million one, which is a time attack mode, and then a 1.5 million one, which is Luca's first mission. Which, if you play the game, you know who Luca is. If you don't worry about it. It's not that important. Essentially, this is plat. I didn't even. And here's the thing: I looked it up like yesterday to see who owned the trademark for Wonderful 101. Because I didn't believe that. I was kind of skeptical of the whole Kickstarter thing because I was like, well, if Nintendo owns the rights to the series, how could you do it?
I think a good amount of people were like, yeah.
Supposedly, when I looked it up, apparently Nintendo had problems trademarking the name because the name was similar to another name, and I guess Nintendo just said fuck it and just gave it to Platinum, and let Platinum just have the control of the IP, which is funny because they just posted an article how Astral Chain is a joint partnership, meaning Nintendo owns half of Astral Chain and Platinum Games own half.
Well, what do you got to spend to like guarantee a copy of the game?
You talking about a digital or a physical copy?
Either or, both.
A digital copy is $36. A physical copy is $41. Now, granted, that doesn't include shipping, so we could say like maybe 45 and 50 maybe. If you include shipping, because it's all in yen, but it does put like about what it is in American dollars.
And you forgot one.
You got one.
I said you forgot one.
What was the other one?
Copy on the Wii U is $20.
But I mean, to be fair, there's also other ones. If there's some like things that I think got sold out. They're like it's like $140. Like you got like 166 backers that.
Yeah,
damn, T, Mike's.
Gee, that static is a motherfucker.
You got static?
It was.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just stopped randomly.
All right.
Sounds fine right now.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
It must
sounds
be
good now.
it must be
Sounds good now.
interference from whatchamacallit. I'll move it out of the way.
It's the fucking alien.
Actually, the Wonderful 101's $30 on Amazon.
Okay, I was just being funny. I didn't
But
know the
yeah,
price.
Yeah, but it's like I know how he is. So yeah, it's not a full price remaster, which is good because the game's like what 7 years old. It came out in
Yeah.
2013, didn't it?
Yep.
I don't expect the Switch version to be much of
September.
a remaster. I think it's be more like Bayonetta, where they just lock the frame rate down, and then they have to obviously account for no gamepad, so they got to change a few of the sections where you had to look at the gamepad screen to see the inside buildings and stuff.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
There is a
charging.
little bit.
I was reading an interview on Eurogamer as well. They seem to have an interview beforehand, and because for those who have played it, there's a lot of Nintendo references in there. Some subtle, not some so much. And Kamiya, he laughed at that and said, "Yeah, good eyes there." And so I think they're gonna change some things in there as well. So
It wasn't all.
At the end of the day, all they got to do to that is just make that full screen.
Or they
Move
could
it around
just
in there.
literally get rid of those sections entirely, where
So-
you go in and have to turn and like a knob or something. Like just make it outside.
oh
where you
yeah,
can
they'll
just
do
do
that.
it. You know.
Yeah, it
Well,
wasn't.
that
it
sounds
didn't
like extra
happen
work.
that often, and it wasn't.
It didn't really. No, it didn't.
No,
It wasn't that often, and it weren't long sections to begin with. I guess to quickly explain the Nintendo stuff, because there is a little bit. People were like, "Well, wait a minute. Okay, fine. The IP situation. All right, fine. Platinum owns the IP, but why is the Switch version only $50K, and then the Steam version's another $200,000?"
Oh wait, there, Juice. The stream is gone.
Is it?
Yeah, it did. It just says stream suspended for policy violations.
What?
what?
Oh my God.
because he was
Oh,
streaming.
because of Shakira.
Probably. But I have it not for children.
Oh, you're done. You're done, man.
I think because
No
it was
way.
Super Bowl stuff.
Oh, you think it was copyright?
Yeah,
probably
man.
was.
You were showing Super Bowl shit.
Just the
He was
halftime show.
Oh man, no, you can't do that.
Oh my God.
See you in 3 months, folks.
Wait, but hold on. You gotta go on. We'll go on your first. Go on your profile. See what it says. So go.
Yeah, I
on,
hope they didn't block your
go on
streaming.
your
Yeah, that would
channel-
suck.
Go on the channel
Quick.
dashboard.
Mhm.
Everyone to the T is loose.
Then check. And it should. I think is it advanced settings or
I don't know. I've never had my streaming
Where's the
privileges blocked.
dashboard?
Right in the middle of the stream. Peace.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Was that still running in the background all this time?
No,
Yeah,
I closed it after. Well, it was on for what, 4 or 5 minutes top.
Yeah, that was
That's fucking bullshit.
that's probably too long.
and
I don't see.
As long as they didn't email you anything like, "Oh, we blocked your streaming privileges," that.
that would suck.
Well, yeah, considering.
that'd be fucking. That would
Pretty
fucking.
much how you
Clearly
do
that
there.
bully was too much, man.
Yeah.
It was too much.
I kind of had a sneaking suspicion.
Ah, shit. Where's the page where you
Man,
see?
you can't mess with the NFL on YouTube. Are you serious?
That
It
is
wasn't-
dangerous. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That was odd.
You lucky.
Does it say we're still live? Because I closed the YouTube
Yeah, it's
page.
live.
Now we're live, I think.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
can
we're
see
live.
it.
All right.
Yeah, I
We're
can see
back.
it.
Wait. That's when you have to
That
start
is- that
over. You
is
have to
the
glue that
funniest
shit
T, you
together.
might
now.
want to. You gotta do something about your mic though, because it's cut.
up
It's,
now.
Mike T's
Is
mic
it doing it
is
again?
back
All right, I'm gonna
staticky.
switch. I'm gonna switch to my lap. Or
All right, we're back. Glad I had my email fucking up on when it came back on.
I would have been concerned as fuck. I would
That
have
would
been
have
like,
been,
bruh.
that would've been really
I'd
bad.
be like,
man.
bruh, did I just lose my fucking Shakira got me
I'll have
fucking
to,
banned on YouTube.
I'll have
Yeah.
to maybe
That
edit
big
that
booty
out or whatever.
bitch. Damn.
But it's
Maybe
like
it was Shakira. Maybe they were trying to silence us for saying she was lip syncing. She's trying to delete it offline.
it was,
you know?
yeah. If it'd be one thing if I was showing clips from the game or something, I would think that would be.
I'm
different.
glad they didn't fucking just get. I thought YouTube was gonna fucking be like, you
Well, it
banned.
still could happen, I guess.
That shit had me dying. That's funny as hell.
That would have been.
I was
still
just
did.
typing in Wonderful 101, so should I
Good.
not show that either? Maybe Platinum.
No,
No,
will
what
be-
it-
about
that
I
is
don't know
fine.
platinum? I think it's fine with that.
No, platinum were fine.
Shakira's
Although
is
when-
too sexy
it's
for
funny-
YouTube.
Well,
It's funny you bring that up because one of the rewards for the Kickstarter is getting blocked by Camilla on Twitter.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You don't even. You could
He
just do
says
that
he'll send you
anytime.
like a personal message and then block you on Twitter.
Yeah.
What the
That's
fuck?
funny.
He said you don't have to have it block you if you don't want to. But I'm
Yeah,
just
it's,
saying.
it's not mandatory.
Yeah, it's not mandatory.
You can have the
What?
shit in the background. Just make sure like we're over it, like this, because you just have the text covering it, and I think
I
that's
think it
enough.
literally was just because it was Super Bowl stuff. Like if it's a video
Yeah.
game, I don't think we'll have a
That
problem.
algorithm don't fuck around, bro.
That was so quick.
They don't play.
Yeah.
It was
did-
like 5 minutes. It was like,
Yeah.
bitch, gotcha.
All
It's
right,
like,
so
Ninjas, boy.
we don't get that YouTube promotion, but they sure block us really fast.
Hey man,
Yeah,
I mean
right?
to be fair, that fucking Super Bowl, they don't give a damn. They gonna make
It's
their
that
money.
YouTube algorithm. It's that
You
YouTube
better edit that
algorithm.
out before it uploads.
So here's the question though. The Wonderful 101's at what, over 600,000 or something now? Something?
Yeah, it's already hit its Steam and PS4.
It's like-
goals.
Who are all these people? Like the game sold like, well, I guess up to if it ended up around
It's-
300 or something. But
yeah, in around 300.
I remember the opening was like 10,000 or something first week.
It's built up over time. I've noticed there's been more YouTube videos over time over the last 7 years of people being like,
Oh, there's always that shit over time.
but the
man.
problem,
Okay,
but
don't-
I'm saying,
don't
look,
give me
I'm
that
just
shit.
saying, listen, I'm just saying, Clocked It.
I
People
know.
appreciate shit after it's dead. All right.
You know
Pe-
why
people
this is gonna
appreciate shit.
snowball?
Yeah.
You know why this
Also,
is
I
gonna
think people wanted
snowball? Is
ports.
because, like right now, you have a lot of those people that make like careers off the Switch and shit. And some of these people, they have like the Wii U, and it is big channels. So they're gonna be like, "Hey, look, this game was awesome, was the shit." And you got all these people who never played the fucking Wii U, like sheep, or listen to those people and then back the game who never even heard of it.
Well,
Yeah, I
that's
know
fine.
one big channel that was reporting on it and acting like he was happy about it. But you know, he never
Yeah.
played the game on. He had a Wii U, didn't play it on there. I guess you know
Bitch
that's the
ass.
kind of you know certain things spawn that kind of.
Oh!
wave, you know?
You creating a wave.
The
You
Switch
making waves
does
like-
definitely
It's a
spawns
purple wave, you know.
He's out here making waves.
spawns new fans of games that apparently weren't worth playing on the last console that Nintendo made, you know. But now they're just riding the wave of hype and
The
playing
wave.
fucking-
But if nothing, but if,
I don't know, man. It's like
go ahead.
it's just crazy to me that a game that, I mean, I guess in the long run those sales numbers aren't terrible. I don't know how many of that was after it dropped to $20.
It
Well,
probably
you got to
was.
remember that the Wii U at that time was like, you know, dead sales wise when that game
Mhm.
came out. So
Yeah, that game came out like the first year, so it was only
came
like
out in
around-
September.
I was gonna
Game
say,
of-
yeah, it was one of the first.
It also
big
got
games.
buried. That was the other problem.
Oh, didn't something else came out that
Came
Rayman,
out right
that
around
month?
Rayman, Pikmin, and
Sonic,
GTA
Mario,
5 were all around the
3D
same
World.
time.
Yeah, so
was
the
something
wonderful,
else
the
that was
wonderful
big.
101.
It
GTA
got buried
5
because-
was the other game.
GTA 5, that's what it was.
That was the
But
other thing.
GTA
yeah.
5 killed everything, didn't it?
Well, to be fair,
Yeah.
the holiday season's always been pretty fucking ridiculous, and they thought the best idea to release this thing was like right there around that big holiday season, where either Nintendo games or third-party games are gonna fucking like just eat it alive, which is essentially what happened.
Yeah.
This game got eaten in the holiday of that year. So I feel bad for it because I remember buying it, fucking loving it to death. It's such a cool fucking game. But I did want to, I guess I'll real quick mention why, because a lot of people may have also been asking why is the Switch goal so low versus like the PS4 and Steam goal? And apparently, from what I understand, is that obviously Nintendo had the whole either you buy it, either you make it only for the Switch, or we don't help at all. And they chose that we want to put on other platforms. But the trade-off was, well, but the Nintendo kind of struck a deal with them, said, all right, fine, if you're gonna do that, whatever. We'll make the Switch, we'll eat some of the cost, which is the reason why their goal is lower.
Okay.
Essentially, they said, all right. Also because Platinum and them are on really good terms, and now we just found out because the sales numbers came out. Astral Chain sold 1 million, so it ain't like it's not like they weren't already on pretty decent terms to
Mhm.
begin with. So it's like, all right, fine. If you can get 50K, we're cool. Like we'll make ours 50K. Now, obviously, PC and Sony don't give a fuck, especially because Sony is about to be into a new console, and PC's PC, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I wonder of that 500,000, how many people selected the Switch version?
a lot of it's if you go look at the comments in the Kickstarter, a lot of people are like, they're hoping that it has touchscreen support.
Most of it's gonna
for
be.
the drawing.
I mean, most of it's gonna be Switch. In the end
Oh,
of
I
the
didn't even
day,
think about that. Yeah, that would be good.
Oh,
It'd be
no, we did.
different.
That's
Yeah.
already confirmed for this. The
I-
Tamiya already confirmed
Oh, is it?
touchscreen drawing for the Switch. Yeah.
That's dope.
Because I think it was clocked that before, or Terrell before, I think said that the PS4 should have the analog stick, but even the PS4 you could still have the drawing on it because the pad thing is pretty responsive on there.
Yeah,
That's too
Yeah,
small.
Get a
It's
touch
too
I think
small.
the pad is just too small. That's
It's
the
too
problem
small.
with the pad.
It's too small.
Yeah.
It's not that it does. It's not that it doesn't work. For some of them
Dude,
shapes.
dude, you were just moaning about cutting shapes just now. Don't tell me you're gonna be cutting
Oh,
those shapes. Yeah,
no,
that's
this
cute.
man.
Exposed.
I'll say it'd be
The
way
fact
easier to
that-
draw
the
the
fact
big
that
shapes.
The fact that I hated it doesn't mean that I think other people enjoy it and that it could be done on PS4. Those are completely unrelated to each other.
I think it'd be easier to draw the big shapes on the little touchpad on the PS4, on the DualShock.
I think like the whip. I think the whip, the gun, the sword, even the hand are fine. But I think things like the hammer and I don't remember what the claw shape was.
The claw was
Oh,
a
man.
zigzag.
I think
Zigzag.
it would work. I mean, it would take some finesse, but I think it'd be
It
worth.
also depends on whether or not they want to put in the extra time to do that one.
All they
Because
gotta
I
do is-
imagine the one they're saying April release. That's the other thing. The April release is probably for just fucking Switch and Steam.
Switch.
If I had to take a
I kind of have a
guess.
feeling like they've already started this port.
Oh no, they have. You can tell they have.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the reason why they were even willing to do the Kickstarter was because Nintendo had their bar so low. They were like, well, we can hit 50K, right? But they and then
Blew
the
that shit out
first
the
day
first second.
they're almost at 700,000. The shit is still going. I got the counter up on my fucking screen. It's nuts.
And we were talking about the screens just now, but even like on a small little touchpad on a PS4, when we were talking about the different size weapons that you could do. If you wanted to do a gun, you used to do a normal gun. But if you wanted to do a bazooka, that had to be a big ass gun. You'd have to draw.
Yeah, that was the other.
Yeah, it'd be
that
the
was the other
the
trade-off.
small ones would be hard to do on the DualShock, but
I don't know if they want to put in all that effort for a controller that may be switched out for something different.
yeah,
And
it'd be,
also,
uh,
you
I'm
twisted
surprised
here,
they want to go for.
why
I'm
not-
surprised they want to go for that, not the PS5. Like,
I think because maybe they don't have a development kit.
Install
to
I mean,
try.
that's probably
well,
like
making it for the
what-
PS4 is like making it for the PS5 because unless something
Yeah.
changes, everything should
That,
just
like,
work.
well, the controller is going to be the main.
And what's the
Yeah.
PS5 install?
Because
kit
let's be
right
real,
now?
the touchpad wasn't used that much.
Hey, I bet you the
What about the
touchpad won't.
Xbox? They're not even. they didn't even
Well,
say
I
one
think
thing about
Platinum and
the
Xbox have kind of burned those
Yeah.
bridges. They're like,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I kind of forgot.
You
about
forgot about that?
yeah, but I
true.
think Scalebound and all that other nonsense, they were like, fuck that.
Yeah,
I was gonna
true.
say because even with their stretch goals, they haven't even mentioned them, which I thought they would.
No, I thought
That's
the
what I'm
fact that they
saying,
have $1
that's how I was
million
surprised.
stretch goal, the stretch goal for $1 million is the time attack mode. I'm like,
I
damn,
know.
they don't give a
I think
fuck
they'll
about
I
bring
it.
it
still
to,
think like
Xbox.
I feel like
5,000 or 5
like
million. What do you call it? 5 million stretch goal for Xbox.
I feel like-
Disrespectful, T.
I would feel it's like 90% of the 600,000+ is people getting it for the Switch though. I don't expect a lot, even though it hit the PS4 goal. I don't expect a lot of people
Yeah, most of
to
it's for the
choose that
Switch.
option.
Most people are still buying it, are still pledging because of the potential extra shit they can throw in.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, that's not like 600,000 different people. That's dollars, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you divide that
$1.
by probably 40 at least, minimum
Well,
of
right
40.
now-
Well,
right now-
and just to give you a context of how high the reward tiers go, I think you have tiers as high as $1,000 fucking dollars. Actually, I'm lying.
I saw what is £700.
Actually, I'm lying. It's 5,000. That's the highest one. It's like 5,000.
$5,000.
Yeah, if you if most people donated to get the game, let's say average of 40, that's only 15,000 people.
I can
Right
also
now,
tell you-
we'll say right now
I can
it
also
says
tell you there's a
10,000.
couple that are already sold out, which is the $332 tier and the $1,522 tier.
I think
So,
people will be going for the art book and the little comic book, the
The big
soundtrack
collectors.
and stuff like
And
that.
which is ironically
Yeah,
enough, it's
so-
the $300.
I mean, you
tier.
could have it could be as little as like 10,000 people have donated.
Well, it says right now. It says 10,428.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It says for that.
So I wanted to talk about one thing because I just had some kind of revelation that I didn't even think about yet. So before the podcast, we talked about how I didn't I actually liked the game a lot. I love the game, the atmosphere, the characters, all that shit, the music, the gameplay itself. I just didn't like drawing. When I
It's like
started
a
playing the
Saturday
game,
morning cartoon.
when
Man.
I started playing the game, I tried first on the gamepad, and then this is one of those moments, like I said, where it's the only time where I agreed with OJ. I couldn't fucking look up and down all the fucking time because you missed half of it. So then I switched it to the buttons, and for me, for me personally, the buttons just were too slow, and the shapes didn't cross. Well, anyway, so I just hated that shit. But I just fucking realized all this shit for me can be solved because the Switch is a fucking handheld. If I have the Switch in my hands with the controller, I have the game on my screen, and I can draw over that, I would love it. Like, I would actually play the
But,
whole game in
But you
handheld
could do
because of
that.
Good luck with that flimsy ass the kickstand. You're knocking that shit over all game.
Well,
Or
I would do it handheld mode personally if I did it.
Yeah.
No, because on the Wii U, as far as I remember, the gamepad had some kind of weird robotic thing just to
yeah,
look
it had
cool,
like
and you
a
drew on
grid
that.
or something.
But on the Switch, I would see the game in handheld mode and then draw over that. That would fix all my problems.
All right.
Except
You're
for
gonna do
the
it in
really
handheld
intense.
mode. Okay, I thought you said.
I guess the trade-off would be that you can only play in handheld mode though.
And the other
Yeah,
part
but
would
I
be
wouldn't care because then the game works for how I would want it, and then because you guys can then play it on a TV with how you want it and shit, and I can do it in handheld where it like doesn't fuck with my shit.
I don't see to me, just holding the Switch with your left hand and then drawing with the right
It's not comfortable.
in portable mode. I don't think that would be.
Yeah, that's the same way I have to do it on the Wii U.
Yeah, but the Wii
Yeah,
U
but
isn't.
the Wii U had something to grip onto. Like,
Yeah, the Switch isn't easier to grip.
It's just like a flat piece of flatbread.
No,
To
but
be
for
fair,
example,
that's a pretty accurate description.
let's say I would be laying in bed, I can have it resting on my knee, but
Yeah.
for me, that would be the better
I'm not
option.
lying
I
in bed.
think.
No, I can
Well,
do
you-
it.
man,
Boy,
now
you
he's
got
talking
that
like
fucking
OJ.
analog
He
stick,
mentioned
holy
OJ. Now
shit.
he's quoting OJ. I, for one,
I'm gonna throw this out. The analog stick method was fine. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know how many people
especially
can-
once you got the
I
upgrade.
thought it was fine.
Once it doubled the speed of drawing, to me, that was when the game actually.
Yeah, I don't
became
understand. I never
enjoyable.
understand. I don't understand your
No,
apprehension.
for me,
towards-
I don't know. I just, when I'm playing the game, especially later on, because I was pretty far in the game, and I put a lot of time in it. But
Did
later
you
on,
beat
you
the-
got like this
Retro,
really
did you beat the game?
absurd.
No.
I didn't know. I told you I didn't beat it. I stopped playing it because
Let's
of
see your
this
hours.
moment. Like
Boot up
when,
your Wii U. I want to
Go
see your
get someone
hours.
put up the Wii U.
I don't care. I will boot it up later if you. I can't do that now.
It wasn't
but,
that long.
Good
I mean,
40-hour
I can
game,
boot it
son.
up.
No, it's
It's
about a 20
But like
hour
later
game.
on, you got so many shit.
Well,
You got like
you
really
played it like I
annoying
did.
enemies, and just playing it, and I'm doing with the joystick. Like first off, it went too slow, and then like I said, you get later on shapes that are so similar. Half the time, because of how action-packed and fast the game was, I just drew the wrong shapes. I don't. It was really uncomfortable.
Clocked it. Remember when him and I were having an argument before everyone else got here about him? He said he didn't say it was too slow to draw with the right analogs. Didn't he just say it like 3 times? Am I okay? Just checking. Just checking.
I'm gonna check.
Well, I know. Like, I mean, I'll be honest. I said that in chat that I only played the demo. I think I was too young, you know.
And the
I
irony
didn't-
is the demo was better to me because the demo they gave you the proper guard, whereas in the fucking main game you had to actually buy that bitch.
Yeah, that was. They need some quality of life stuff.
That's the shit that irked me because I'm like, bruh, it's such a major mechanic for the beginning of the game. Why the fuck is that like an optionary thing to buy?
The upgrading screen I would like to see get optimized or more efficient and easier
That's true.
to just say, hey, this is the items you can upgrade. You know, select it. Here's your upgrade. Boom. You know,
I still think even when I one day eventually played, I'd still play on the Wii U probably, because to be honest, it sounds like it was made for that for right now.
I mean, realistically, I think that's one of those games that you can play
Well,
either or.
There was some
You wouldn't
mechanics
miss
that were
anything.
clearly made.
Also, if they improve the frame rate like I think they're going to, then I would
yeah,
definitely.
like I said, I think before the stream got cut off, I was going into. I don't think they're gonna do much. Switch version's just gonna have a better frame rate. I think that's all they're gonna do as far as a.
It's already clean like.
Well, we know it's already done. It's coming out in fucking April.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's,
the Switch version will be out.
I'm
in
just
April.
saying it ain't gonna be
I
higher.
forgot about that shit.
they ain't gonna
It
be
says 2020. It's 2020.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
The Switch version, I think, is already pretty much.
I mean, they
done.
teased this game. Remember that picture with was it comedian? It was like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took
one of
the
the
BT
range.
ages ago.
I
Yeah.
bet they already did.
That
made-
was what started that
They
conversation.
were probably doing it then.
Yeah, I bet they already made the changes too to for just using a pro controller. You know, like I bet they've already made that like whatever
yeah.
they needed to do, and then anything that required the gamepad, I bet, because it's just like who knows, they might have been just working on it here and there throughout the last few years, just thinking, let's remove the gamepad stuff, you know. So
It's on the Wii U right now.
And then at the end of
Oh,
the day,
sorry.
at the end of the day, we've got another Wii U port instead of the wonderful 102.
exactly.
Check my hours.
Yeah.
This is a little different though,
But you know what the
because
problem is with that clock? That I think because we talked about it before, the game didn't sell well in the beginning, and you had like the competitive shit when the game launched. They were probably just scared, so they went with this route to see if it even would work.
I know
think
that.
it's
I feel like
Dude,
this
do
was.
you know how many games in the history of this industry, how many first release games have not sold that well? Do you know how many? I could go through a list of video games that sold like ass on their first release, but they had sequel after fucking sequel after sequel, and yet they still have their fan bases today. I mean, like one of the rumors was Drakengard. You know, for example, when people saw the number 4, they were like, "Oh yeah, Drakengard 4's gonna come." Have you ever heard of Drakengard before all of this? Anyone here?
No, I haven't heard.
So Drakengard was
I
no
did
series.
because I fucking love that game.
Oh, it was going back to the PS2, and you know the Nier series was part of the same universe, a bit like Persona is part of Shin Megami Tensei and stuff like that. But Drakengard, all of these games, they got rated like trash, they sold like trash, and then you still get the 4th one. So I hate that shit when we hear people saying that the first game sold like ass, so we need to re-release it again in order to justify a sequel. I just
I mean, listen, I
especially
agree.
from these
you know,
companies, especially from Nintendo
Freedom
and
bullshit.
Platinum Games as a partnership, horseshit. Absolute.
I
don't accept it.
disagree with that in the sense that this is Platinum. This is
Platinum
them
games
trying to
have never
be
been known for selling
independent.
well.
They're not like this. They're not Nintendo. I mean, you could be mad at Nintendo for not funding the wonderful 102, but I can't blame Platinum for
No,
just wanting this game.
This scenario is different because you can see them
this
trying
one's
to get back this game. They're
trying to
Yeah,
get
this
it.
was the game. I think
To be-
this
to
was
be
the game
recognized.
I was perfectly cool with them doing.
And
recording.
This
to
is
be
the
fair,
last
they
game
did,
that-
they did also say, like in their little
My bad.
description thing, that seeing how this goes also depends, and maybe they could start self-publishing later
I think that's
on.
what they want to do. They're tired of fucking having to go through. Realistically, all the major games that people play from them are going through one publisher. It's either Nintendo or it's fucking Sega for Bayonetta, or it's Capcom or fucking Square Enix for Nier. Almost
Now
all their
Babylon.
major titles, all their major titles go through.
I
a
posted
publisher.
I posted my photo on Twitter earlier, just messing around. I posted like a picture of Beautiful Joe, Okami, Bayonetta, and Wonderful 101. And the reason why I posted those 4 is because those are the 4 series that Kamiya goes on and on and on about, because he fucking loves those games.
Well, because he
He directed them all as well.
yeah, the Wonderful 101 is the last game he directed, as far as I know.
He loves those games, and this is why the Wonderful 101 is such a passion game to these guys, because these are these characters that they created after they jumped out of Clover Studios, after Capcom, fucked them up the ass, and they lost all these great games that they were involved with, which is why they created Platinum Games. But then they still haven't been able to get on their feet. They've created, and they're one of the most gifted studios in the industry, and yet one of the most unsuccessful.
Yeah, I would say
So
they're
I don't
gifted.
know what this does for people. I have 8.5 hours in the game.
Oh, I'm
What?
excited. to have-
Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
How?
I go
I
like
told you I
that.
stopped fucking
you
playing
weren't
it.
even you weren't even. You probably didn't even unlock the speed, John.
So I
Holy shit!
I completed the Wonderful 101. Did anyone else complete it here?
yeah.
I beat it.
Okay, so
Oh, what
Hold on,
hours
It
do
has
you
literally
guys
one.
have
It
done?
has like
That's
one of my
different,
favorite. I want to throw this out. Wonderful 101 has like one of my favorite final bosses and end sequences in any fucking video game ever. That shit was fucking
to be
gold.
fair, I mean, if you
I had
look it up, that's like halfway of the game.
I had
or
about
something.
20. I think it
I
was
have
about
18.
Yeah,
Okay, so
20. I feel like 20 something.
Told you guys, I'm like halfway in the game. That's kind of what I said.
24 hours.
I got 1847.
There you go. Okay.
So 8.5 is not that little. Like I said,
No,
I played
it's a
enough
decent
of it.
amount
It
of
just
time.
started bothering me.
So
yeah, but we also know how long you take in your games. So we don't gotta.
yeah, he probably got to the second mission.
There weren't any
He's like, I
caves or
hate this
underwater
fucking drawing.
sections.
You were checking out the environment, you. You're just
There's
like,
no underwater in this game. It's trash. But
static.
it is underwater, Retro. It is underwater.
Well, let me get back. Let's get back to the thing, because I think this is Kamiya's the last game he actually directed, because he was working on Scalebound.
Yeah,
And
we don't talk about.
so
that
all
game.
the other games have been other developers, but so I can think this is the latest game that he made, you know, even though it's 7 years old. So I could see that that's one of the reasons. Another, it's just all unique characters that they created. It doesn't really have any Nintendo tie-in. I mean, it has some, but just some
Kinda ties to
references.
Beautiful
They're
Joe.
they're like
Yeah,
there's
I
a
was
few
gonna
references.
say.
But I think
what T said is very heavily related to Beautiful Joe in terms of character design.
Yeah, and it's their most unique. Like, it stands out amongst all their other games as completely original and unique. So
It also has a bunch of references to their older games, because actually you can get Bayonetta in this fucking game.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
didn't it say
I
something
never
about?
unlocked it, actually. I never done it.
Wasn't there a thing about how 101 represents like everything Platinum
Yeah,
wants, or you know, it just represents them as
It's
a
about-
company and their
yeah,
game.
it represented how their game design and their games.
Yeah. So I don't have any issue.
I mean, the
with,
drawing mechanic is straight out of Okami. I mean, it literally references all their major titles.
because I don't think they're gonna raise enough money to make a sequel just off a Kickstarter. Like, if this was for 102, like, I would think they'd need at least like 5-10 million, wouldn't they? You know, to make a sequel. I don't know for sure.
Nah.
I'd be curious.
I don't think-
The problem is, I'm curious
You
what the
think
budget is.
101 was a $10 million budget?
yeah, I don't think one of them.
Yeah, probably maybe $1 million. I think $1 million they'd be fine.
You think $1 million?
Yeah, I
Million,
think
maybe
$10
two.
million.
I'd say maybe 2.
Okay.
Maybe 2 for
No,
bug
it-
testing and shit.
Not what are you talking about? Creating a sequel now?
Yeah. What do you think it'd cost budget wise to make a sequel?
Not it'd be more than that much these days, guys. Surely.
Yeah, that's
Surely.
why I said 5. I was thinking 5
I feel
initially.
like 5 is a lot.
That seems like a lot. Platinum's team, like
Yeah, Platinum Games.
they're not outsourcing anybody.
Well, I
don't
mean,
see
they
what a
got-
game would be.
You're talking the game development plus marketing plus publishing. Like, I don't think there would have been enough, and they didn't maybe feel there was enough. I bet you they're surprised by how much they got for this Wonderful 101.
To be fair, I was surprised. Like, I was in the chat earlier. I was like, oh, they'll probably hit the Steam one, but they're not going to hit the
But this is an
PS4
example.
one.
I'm not surprised one bit.
I was
that's
surprised
because in the end of the
considering
day,
this
like,
game.
yeah,
Go
but
ahead,
the thing
Robert.
is, in the end of the
Excuse
day,
me, Shenmue 3. That's all I got to say.
True, but
Yeah, but that
also-
game had a lot of fucking hype behind it. What
Well, think about it. Like, all it needs was 10,000 people.
The game
like,
never
to-
sold, though. It's a game that never sold.
We're not
It got a lot of hype.
able
That always happens. That happens all the time.
Well,
I don't know, I just
either
think-
way, the game's gonna get made, and I don't know how many people are gonna buy it beyond the people that. But if the first game sold 300,000, you know, the Wii U didn't have a lot of games, so the Switch version might not even hit that. But
How much did Bloodstain make?
Bloodstained was
Oh,
like $1
I
million,
can
wasn't
go
it?
check real quick. I can go check. I backed that. So let's.
But
go
this
check.
is an example where I actually
What was
feel.
that based on?
Oh yeah, Castlevania. It raised like 5 million.
Yeah,
5
that's what I
million,
thought.
Jesus.
5 million.
5.5
So-
million.
I mean, I know it was Igarashi.
Yeah, Igarashi.
You
To
know,
be fair,
so-
most people like that game.
No, I'm not saying anything wrong with the game. What I'm
Oh.
saying is that's a new IP,
Yeah.
and all the hype. You know, there was hype, but it was built around Igarashi for the most
Well,
part.
and
making
that
the
and the,
Castlevania successor. You know,
and the
like-
kicker was how much were they asking for? Well, 500,000.
Yeah, they weren't even asking for nowhere near 5 million. Look how much they made. So that's why I'm not surprised, because again, it's not 500. It's not 5
guess
million
I can-
people who want it.
Do I need to go look up Mighty Number now?
Oh yeah, I mean, I know that one did well. So
Oh, that one did stupidly well.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Banjo Kazooie, fucking Ukulele did really well.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, actually, I can look that one up real quick. That one did.
That also, I'm pretty sure I had billions.
That one did 2 million.
Just about every Wii U fan who bought who bought Wonderful 101 loved the game. Just about, you know, there's some people.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah,
those games that got like a huge fucking like positive push, but it took so long to get it that it was almost irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
And also if they are able to do the self-published things. I mean, look at fucking Playtonic. You know, they went from their first release, Kickstarter, second release. Now they're just making a game. They just normally made a game.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of going towards. What I was saying before was, you know, you hear a lot of some people say, "Oh, they just if you port the game to the Switch to gauge the interest and this and that," and you know, it didn't sell right on the Wii U. But to this could be a huge success, a huge springboard for Platinum, and to bring a game that's already made for the most part versus having to just. It's a lot riskier for the company, and it's not like they're not going to have work if they didn't do this. You know, it's not like they don't already have games being developed, you know, with partners. But this could actually
this is almost pure profit. Almost.
This could lead to them being able to make the Wonderful 102 where Nintendo wouldn't. You know, like this could actually lead to a sequel, and you know, so I see this as completely a separate situation than Nintendo themselves bringing their games that sold 5 million on Wii U and you know, re-releasing them on Switch type of thing. Cause
for sure,
Nintendo's too busy making save games and not doing much else at the moment. So
yeah, so let's go into the financial briefing or whatever. The numbers.
That's gonna be some shit.
And this was was the Switch, because sometimes they do the briefing, but then they give you up to date, like to that week, like numbers. I know sometimes they've done that.
This was up to like the end of.
Was this just the end of December 31st?
Yeah, let me make sure
because I know in the early days of the Switch,
yeah, this is the last 3 months of last year.
All right, because they did the first year of the Switch. I know for a fact that they gave the quarter numbers and then they gave us up-to-date Switch numbers for current, like right now. So I wasn't sure if the 52 million was that.
I'm assuming most of you already know the numbers, so we don't need to do the game of guessing what sold what.
No, I just want to talk about a few, like Luigi's Mansion.
Okay.
Being at over 5 million already.
In fucking 2 months, because it came out October 31st.
It came out November, basically.
Yeah. Fucking
that's a huge success.
Killed it.
And if anybody has
every single sale.
And the people who did the interview with Next Level, Electronic Playground.
Oh, Electronic Playground, yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting because it sounds like they had help making that game beyond just Next Level Games. It sounded like they had other help. It was a huge team. It sounded like it was their biggest team. And then they're like, oh, we had you know, art coming in from so and so, and it was more than just Next Level working on it, and it all, you know, came together. So it was an interesting interview that if anybody has, maybe I'll link it in the live chat if I can find it again. It was interesting, but yeah, like they were it was the biggest game they worked on, it was the biggest team they had, and he was talking about reading some of the reviews, and one of the things he was most proud of was that a lot of people said it's the best looking game on the Switch, which I agree pretty much. I mean
that's a huge honor. Fuck.
So yeah,
especially on a console where you had fucking Breath of the Wild and Mario come out a few years before, and people's like, "Yo, man."
A 2D game.
T, you got chill out.
Somebody's playing something.
I hear it sounds like Luigi's Mansion or some shit.
Y'all always do this fuck shit where y'all try to be nerds about everything. Just relax, all right? Damn. The one that kind of threw me off, and I think it threw a lot of people off when you first saw it, is how much Ring Fit ended up selling. Because it's not like I didn't think it was gonna do well.
It was selling that good.
It wasn't a million seller, but what is it? Over 2?
It's 2.1 million.
And in Japan, it keeps selling out, yo.
Yeah, Japan don't give up. Japan's obsessed, and I don't understand why.
Well, why is it such a surprise? Considering
game.
You know, it's a success of like Wii Sports and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess because I don't know. I think in 2019 you assume we're kind of out of that era to a degree. Yeah. And Ring Fit kind of is it's weird that Ring Fit, I think, is going to end up being more successful than fucking Labo was. And in a lot of ways, I thought Labo was a more novel idea. Fucking, I don't know. It just threw me off. And I guess 2 other games that I'm happy about, and I know which makes sense. Astral Chain obviously selling over 1 million.
That's nice.
That's good because Platinum fucking deserves it. And then Marvel Ultimate Alliance selling over 1 million. That kind of threw, because it's weird. That game came out and I feel like no one talked about it, so I'm happy it sold over 1 million.
I'm pretty surprised on that one, honestly.
I don't know if Disney's happy about that, but I know I'm happy about that.
I mean, it's Marvel. I'm not that surprised.
Because it was such a weird. It was literally like, oh, by the way, Marvel's out. Oh, look, it's fucking Fire Emblem. Like like I feel that's what I literally thought that's what happened.
Where's Fire Emblem at?
Those are 2 very different audiences, I think.
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem's at like 2.5 million.
That's pretty down for Fire Emblem. Weren't they selling pretty big?
Compared to what?
I thought the 3DS games were selling like 5, 6 plus.
No. I can get.
I thought Fates was really. I thought that sold really well.
Fire Emblem usually.
1 to 2 million.
Yeah, that's usually it was huge. Awakening only sold like over 1 million. People were like, "Damn, that's the best-selling game in the franchise."
Because they Fire Emblem didn't sell for shit before that.
Fire Emblem went through a weird, like when it first came out in the GBA, it sold well, and then it kind of just went on a bad down.
But you know what? Fire Emblem still got sequels, right?
Fire Emblem Fates is still the highest selling, but not by much. It's like 40,000. It's behind like 40,000.
It almost did 3 million
Well, they put Fire Emblem Heroes out there, and they were like, "Ooh, now I know people know about this game. Look at all that damn money."
Granted, Three Houses is more of a shock because it sold 2.58 in the course of like, what is it, 6 months, 5 months?
So quick.
Versus like the lifetime sales of Fates and Awakening, which are around. One is almost at 3 million. The other one
that's also the Switch effect, man. You know.
Oh yeah, the Switch has this weird flash in the pan. It's ridiculous.
But it didn't make a game of the year, did it?
People say games sell consoles, not the other way around.
It's not as good of a game as Pokemon. That's all. So it doesn't deserve to sell as much.
Fucking.
So you know,
Pokemon in 2 months sold 16 million.
You know how T was talking about all these people who talk about hyped up Shenmue and then got the Kickstarter really high, then no one buys it. Pokemon fans, you get all these people talking about, oh, they're finally woke up to. It doesn't have the Pokedex, and look at these N64 trees. I know that's the large minority or the vocal minority, and then you see it's the fastest selling Pokemon game, and it's already number 4, 3 best.
Not only that though, you had core Pokemon fans like with the trailer, especially trying to compare it to Breath of the Wild and shit. That's just nowhere near. That's fine that it's not, but they were acting like that's what they liked, that's what they wanted. But the game is nowhere near that, and it didn't matter to them worth the one damn. So they still bought it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, like Terrell says, he enjoys playing the game. So, I mean, it's not like it's a terrible game.
I don't think, by no means do I think it's a bad game, but it definitely isn't like the high. It's been the best game of the last, I want to say 7 years, but considering the best game in the franchise is still a DS title, kind of says a lot. So like I like the game, and I think it's better than what people give it credit for. But it's definitely not what I consider like the best game. It's like a middle ground.
At least it's a new game. I'll give it that. At least, even though it's not revolutionary and they didn't really take full advantage of
the way I look
console, at it's a new game at least.
My main thing was as long as it sells Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. I thought those were the laziest, cash grabby ass fucking games, and people acted like people didn't say shit. Nobody said a goddamn thing when those games came out. But as soon as Sword and Shield comes out, I'm like, whoa, we're not the fucking game that came out a year before.
I don't know. Let's Go looks more like a full-fledged game than the dungeon Pokemon game coming out in a couple months.
Mystery Dungeon was a fucking Game Boy Advance and DS game.
Game Boy Advance, yeah.
A lot of people.
What was Pokemon Let's Go based off? That was Pokemon Yellow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the Game Boy game.
But the Pokemon Let's Go though, like a lot of people did say shit about it. But remember, people were saying like it doesn't matter because we are getting like a new core Pokemon later on, so people accepted it more. It was really made to get that Go crowd into it more so than pleasing old fans.
But people were also saying it doesn't matter because all these people talking is gonna buy it anyway, and that's what happened with Let's Go
Exactly.
too. So I don't want to hear none of this.
That's when I
bullshit.
said that in Terrell's video. I was like, I don't want to hear any
the home-
Pokemon's fans complaining about home, the pricing structure, and all that.
Home,
They're gonna be
Home
there with
has
their
its
year
own-
subscriptions day one.
Yep.
Home has its own brand of issues, and it's still kind of based in the whole. Well, the main game is missing content, which is the same argument people had about buying into the DLC they announced. What was that? 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Three,
It's-
4.
Yeah, like it's the same core complaint, but like people are also fucking liars.
Yeah, I
It's
don't want
all
to get into
bullshit.
the home stuff just yet. Let's. Anybody else have like what's a game or something you saw on the sales numbers that stood out to you, whether it was good or bad? I'll say it does. Seem Luigi's Mansion at 5.3, but still
definitely.
seeing it below New Super Mario Brothers.
New Super
Oh,
Mario
Deluxe.
Brothers U, that's the one that makes me.
To be
wanna
fair,
take a
it's
shit.
not that much.
It'll
below.
probably pass it because New Super Mario Brothers came out in January, and that's
Bruh.
one. I'm glad we didn't have another Mario Kart 8 Deluxe scenario where because New Super Mario
Sorry,
Brothers
so
Wii
20
was
mil?
huge.
Yeah.
So
You
if
said
New
it
Super
in
Mario
the
Brothers
game,
U Deluxe was the number 2 selling Switch game of all time, I'd be pretty upset.
When did
Bruh, I think I'm still. Go ahead.
sorry, no, I was going to say New Super Mario Bros. U. That was 2012, right? Because of the
Mhm.
Wii U launch, right? And it's sad. It's so sad that we haven't had another 2D Mario on on a console.
Yeah, it's
since.
better. It's gonna be a decade, man.
Well, the
Fucking-
team-
And all these bitches are gonna come out and say, "See, this is why Nintendo ported these games because they can make more money." I don't give a shit about Nintendo making more money off a game that already sold really well on a
Yeah.
console. It shouldn't have sold.
It
a
sold
lot
5 million on the fucking Wii U.
right
Like,
on the Wii U. So I don't care. Like, what are you getting out of this
that's
game
like, I
selling
keep hearing
6
that
million
bullshit
copies?
with saying, but they can make more money. I'm like, dude, they made
Who gives a
fucking
fuck?
millions of dollars off these games. Fuck off.
and I will give them a little bit of.
Making
guys
more money.
know.
Unless that making more money translates to me getting new F-Zero and fucking wave rate, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like all they're doing is just pocketing that shit, and that's it, man. Come on. Fucking
Well,
make-
I mean, it's funny because the best-selling game on the Switch is still a fucking Wii U.
And it's
port.
like, what did it
Yeah.
do since last year? Did like another 4 or
and
5.
it's fucking, and it's at almost 23 fucking million. Yeah. That's
That's
insane. Yo,
That's like Wii Sports numbers.
bruh. The other thing that confuses me is that fucking Mario Party is almost at 10 million, and I'm like, bruh, they have done literally nothing to that game. Why is
Nothing.
that game
That's
selling?
an
like
embarrassment right there too. I
That's
forgot
what
about Mario Party.
confuses me. How the fuck is Mario Party selling like this?
What is
Well,
that?
'cause
4
it's-
boards?
It's
What the
just the
fuck?
first Mario Party on a popular console. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was gonna do
no.
numbers. You
Oh,
know?
no, we can hear you. Just
Yeah, I keep trying to talk, and you guys just start talking right over me. So I don't know.
my bad.
There's a lot of that happening right now.
I think there might be some delay. I don't know.
It might be a little delay, I think.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Oh wait, I was gonna actually
Play the
defend.
violin.
I was gonna defend a little bit because I know the core 2D Mario team, the main guy, he did make Mario Maker, and I'm sure make Mario Maker 2. I'm not saying that that's complete justification, but at least he was doing something and not just
I'm
nothing.
not knocking the team for. But here's the thing, that fucking game already sold more than Mario Maker 2. That shit is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, Mario Maker 2 is not that far behind it.
I mean, I hope
But
it
it shouldn't be
outsells-
behind it at all.
Well, that's true, but hey, look, 1-2 Switch also shouldn't be above Mario Tennis Aces,
Well-
regardless of what you think about that game.
Well,
I would view Mario Tennis Aces as a better title than 1-2 Switch.
Yeah, I think 1-2 Switch sold only 1-2 copies, yo. What the fuck? I don't wanna
1-2
know.
Switch it sold 3 million copies.
3 million
How
fucking
how
copies.
many of you have actually played 1-2 Switch?
I played it at the presentation thing. But
I haven't played it at all.
I haven't played
I
it.
played it and I find it to be quite lacking.
It's-
my
it's
kids,
cool feeling
I'm
all-
not defending it. I think everyone was right. It could have just been a tech demo, you know.
It should have
I
been
think
a
it's a
20.
good time if you're drunk.
But,
Well, that's the thing.
people play it. People
Yeah.
play it.
They play it for 10 minutes and then they go on the next game.
And sometimes that's all that's needed. It's mini games. You have a little dabble and then you move along. It's
I
like
meant-
Just Dance. You have a few dances, then you come back some other
I
time.
meant 10 minutes total.
I
Well,
have more
lifetime.
fun watching people play it than actually playing it myself.
I'm telling you, I just like feeling the balls.
What the fuck? Why is?
Oh man.
Also, real quick, I'm just confused. Apparently, the Wii was trending on Twitter, and I guess it's because of Wonderful 101. I don't know what's happening. It's like one of the weirdest things I've seen today.
Yeah, welcome to 2020, yo, Jesus.
I bought a Wii U in 2020. Guess what happened? A bullshit ass video. Stop that shit. Stop it.
Oh yeah,
I hear it's good for hacking though. Like
I fucking hate those videos, man.
I'm thinking of hacking mine actually.
I think you were tipping over the
I thought of
weekend.
hacking mine because I want to play. There's like you could play like custom galaxy stages and
You
shit.
can play a GameCube. What do you call it? Dolphin games on it.
Yeah.
What?
And 1080p Mario Sunshine. Who doesn't want that?
There's a lot of this is getting dark, yo. I don't like where this is going.
But I'm like, what's the point? Like I have no like problems if my Wii U gets fucked, it gets fucked. If I hack it or whatever, I don't think they're even gonna worry about if people hack their Wii U's. It's not.
No, they're not gonna.
But the thing is, like,
checking for that anymore.
The library is on almost entirely on the Switch now, anyway. So it's like, what it doesn't.
Well, but you don't have it on the Switch though.
Well, if I wanted to, let's say I really wanted to play Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze in a couple years, and it might not be on my. It's digital, and I might not have access to it anyway on the Wii U.
Might evaporate that shit.
So,
Jesus Christ! Oh, I guess real quick side note. Now, I don't know if you wanted to mention it or not. Just Platinum Release had like a website called, I think it's just called Platinum 4 or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And Wonderful 101 Kickstarter is only one of those 4 things. So I guess we could guess what the other three things.
That's right. Yeah.
The other 3 things that they plan to announce, which. I have a sneaky.
What is it called? What does it say? Does it say 4 announcement? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it 4 announcement?
Platinum and the number 4.
Yeah, platinum.
Oh, okay.
And so if you see, they say they right now the first one that was announced is Wonderful 101, and they show coming soon 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Scalebound PS5.
Oh, okay.
One thing I will add then before we start, debating on what they might be if we are going to do that, is that in the interview as well, I also read that Cameo said that they're not interested actually in going back to the older catalogs. So I think the Wonderful 101 might be the only one they might go back to now.
Do you think these are all like new games?
Don't know.
Weird. I mean,
I thought the only thing they might do is try to reclaim some of the IPs they technically don't own, but they've made games for.
That's what I thought until I read that.
Because I would have thought, because realistically, they don't own a lot. Like I said, they only partially own Astral Chain, and they apparently own all of Wonderful 101. But I know for almost all the other titles, they don't own. But Sega owns Bayonetta and shit.
Platinum came out themselves and said that they were happy with what Astral Chain achieved, whereas they came out and said that they weren't happy with Wonderful 101. So
that's not too surprising.
That's not surprising. You went from a game that sold 1 million to a game that sold 360,000. It's like
but even for the game, was because the Astral Chain is still pretty ambitious. It's still a decent sized game.
Yeah.
Some people might not be happy with just 1 million sales. It's still.
I think they were happy.
EA might not be happy with
they're also happy because they don't normally get it. That's the thing. Even if you look back, the game before this that sold a lot was fucking Nier, and that was what 3 years ago now.
2017.
Before that.
Yeah, it was 2 before that.
Maybe we'll get the Turtles game on the Switch. Oh yeah.
To eat a dick.
Maybe we'll get Legend of Korra.
Oh,
I thought you T had a baby over there.
I'm dying over here.
They definitely have their lower.
Starbox Zero did it. You got Starbox.
Yeah, to be fair, they had kind of a dead zone.
They definitely have a lower tier team that handles those games.
Oh yeah, those are licensed games. Those are the pay the bill kind of games. Pay me a certain amount of money to make this.
Hey, at least they're making games.
Get out of here.
At least they're making and releasing games, unlike Retro Studios. Oh.
He sounded like a Murdoch from the World of Warcraft.
Just starts off kind of slow when he talks, and then it just sped up to 1 million miles.
Yeah, I didn't see that shit coming at all.
I was trying to do my impression of Retrodeath doing an impression of T.
God dang. Damn, that's layers.
See,
right
you
there.
were the most quoted man in 2020.
I just
How's it feel?
Oh.
I wanted to say I want to direct this back to the sales of the Switch real quick.
Oh yeah, because is that
So
52?
Switch is at 52 million, just under 3 years. They got 3 more months, so we'll probably do at least another 1 to 2 million.
You got the Animal Crossing limited editions coming out, man.
Fuck
Yeah, but,
oh, there's a little.
Yeah,
bit
because that'll be the last. That'll be a little bit into this last quarter, so that'll
Also-
probably do 1 million. So you're looking at probably 54 by the 3-year anniversary. And
Also,
what?
I do want to mention one thing about the Animal Crossing real quick. It has been confirmed, and people have noticed that the model is the new model. So you are getting the Switch with the longer battery life
that's
if you
nice.
buy if you buy the bundle, the new Animal Crossing one.
I mean,
Nope.
at that point, it should be. I mean,
Hey,
Jesus.
look, listen. You can never be too safe.
Doesn't come with the game though. Oh.
The fact that you an announcement is
Yeah, dude,
crazy.
it doesn't come with the game, but
Anyway, let me
That looks
finish.
sexy though with the etching in the back.
Let
and
me
shit.
finish what I was
Awesome
saying.
Fucking Tom Nook standing there.
Let me finish what I was saying. So 54 to 55 at the 3-year anniversary. There's no split teams, no 3DS to support. Yet I feel like we're barely getting more than the Wii U got, and it's year 2, 3, as far as game output from Nintendo. And these sales are great and stuff. I think Clocked It said something in the chat that took me by surprise, where you're just like, where are all these new games at? We got these teams that join together. We're like, where are the new games? And maybe they'll put a direct out.
Yeah, I did expect more, not more essentially bigger titles.
Yeah, not more
I
AAA, but
expected more Captain Toe-sized titles, more pull blocks. I mean, we got Box Boy and stuff, which was nice, but Box Boy is a very small title from Help.
We also got that weird Stretchers game.
AA games. Where those at?
Yeah, we haven't seen that many AA games, and I suppose you could maybe class Link's Awakening as one, but still is a remake. It's not a brand new game. So I don't know. Like I said, when you had, I think the analogy I used was that you had Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U and you had Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. So you had these two teams able to pump out 2 completely different Mario Kart games. And then we also said that it's not like these teams are used to HD anymore, because we've had the HD era of Nintendo. So I don't know. You do feel like there would be more.
Yeah, I agree.
You just feel it.
especially
I
this.
could say that I was really shocked. I was like, with them focusing on one, console, it's gonna be like a fucking game a month. It's gonna be
Well,
crazy.
how many Zeldas did we have? We had like 4 Zeldas, didn't we? We had 6 Zeldas. We had Ocarina of Time remake. We had Majora's Mask remake. We had Link Between Worlds. We had the multiplayer
Triforce Heroes.
3 the heroes.
We had Wind Waker HD. We had Twilight Princess HD. Now, yeah, a lot of these are ports and stuff, but we still had them between these 2 platforms. And I just, so we got 2 Zeldas now. And even if they, just ported the fucking Skyward Sword HD.
My thing is,
Ocarina
I
of
was
Time.
thinking that we were gonna get something comparable to 3DS, like for the Switch, like as far as different types of games coming from Nintendo.
Yeah,
Like, there's so much
a-
greatness in software on the 3DS. It's insane.
You can't on one side say give me less ports, and then on the other side say give me more
No,
ports.
I'm not asking for the ports. I'm giving you examples of the breadth of releases in terms of IPs that you have between these 2 platforms.
And those weren't just last gen ports, though.
I mentioned some third-party ones. I say third-party. I mentioned some collaborations. Sure, but then still Nintendo-wise, we were getting. We had New Super Mario Bros. 2. We had New Super Mario Bros. U. We had the Paper Marios. We had the Mario and Luigi teams doing all their RPGs and stuff, but we haven't seen a single one.
You seen? Remember how many Mario sports games?
Sports games? None of that.
Yeah, so you had the golf. I got golf.
Mario Tennis.
I got tennis on there. You had all this stuff, and I'm just saying, even for the AA titles, they don't. I thought there would be more.
I want my damn Mario Golf. Shit.
I kind of have a
Where's
feeling
the
there's
Mario
gonna be a
Golf?
sports game coming out this June.
Yeah, I think this year will probably kind of
But-
make up for that. Personally,
I mean, I feel like it's.
I hope that's the case. Please shut me up. I want to be shut up. I don't.
I have a sneak, especially with all these weird influx of fucking rumors, like the one that came out recently about Mario Kart 9. Like whether or not I believe that one remains to be seen.
That shit ain't happening.
That remains to be seen because that shit sells.
I don't know.
I say there's zero.
Yeah,
Nintendo would be
GTA 6 coming out this year too.
Nintendo would be stupid to put out Mario Kart 9 on the Switch.
Nintendo will probably launch the next Nintendo successor console with 9.
Yeah, because all you're gonna do.
That's the smart move.
Well, this is another thing as well, because for the first time ever now, technically, depending on how it goes forwards now, Nintendo are essentially out of sync in terms of launching consoles close to when all other consoles release. Like a year or so back. They are completely out of sync.
They're way
now.
out of sync now.
Yeah, so they are really in their own little bubble now. In terms of where they are.
Well, they're also out of sync with their Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart series is out of sync because now you released a
exactly.
port in the first year, and if I know somebody asked in the Discord chat, what tracks we got, I'm like, there's no way. They put out Mario Kart 9. All they're gonna do is they're gonna slow down the money train that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's just pure profit. Every game sold.
Pure profit.
And it's gonna cut into the Mario Kart 9's potential sales because people are like, I just bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, why would I buy the new one? Like, why am I gonna buy another Mario Kart?
No way, Mario Kart 9 is not gonna sell.
You'd have to cut one short again.
If Kart 9 comes on Switch, it's gonna be launching on the next console at the same fucking time.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
And apparently they're talking about how we're right now hitting the middle of the Switch life cycle. So
that sounds about what I would think.
Yeah.
So if we're halfway, that means they're basically saying 2023, till the end of the Switch.
Yeah, I would say either we might get announcements at the end of 2022 and then like a new console in 2023.
I mean,
my biggest problem is that I just thought of this right now is that Nintendo this generation has been mega safe. They've been safe with their core games. Like, or you could say, well, Labo wasn't safe or Ring Fit. Those aren't. I'm talking about core games. They've been very safe.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see them less safe. They were less safe on the GameCube.
Well, look what
less safe on the N64.
Look what Breath of the Wild did.
Chibi Robo. Like
Breath of the Wild wasn't safe.
Yeah, I think games we've said this before. I think games like Kirby and Yoshi are perfect examples. Nintendo just playing it way too safe.
Mega safe games, both of them.
Yeah,
they're like the lesser. They are the regrettable, lesser AA titles now. Because
those two. Like
I class Woody World as a AAA title. But
that's definitely
AAA. World, fuck off, no way.
That's what I was thinking earlier. That's what I was thinking earlier when you were talking about having a lot of the studios work on like those lesser games. I was legit thinking, well, I mean, Yoshi maybe borderline, but I still think of it. And Kirby, they felt like those kinds of games to me. There's no way those had like years of development by the best of the best in Nintendo. I would never believe that.
Kirby's a franchise that gets rushed out like every other year.
But
well, the
Kirby games have been really good though. Like especially
the 3DS ones have been fucking nuts.
I would say the problem.
What is this shit on Wii U? Or Wii U? Look at me, Switch. What is this?
But then
on Wii U, we had fucking Rainbow Curse, yo. I love Rainbow.
To be fair,
that's more acceptable over there because the Wii U was not selling with the game.
I think it was less acceptable. I think you needed a safe Kirby game on fucking Wii U.
I think we might be right. We might be cutting juice off. I think I've even tried to come in a few times.
Yeah,
they put out a Kirby game.
I think it's T because it sounds like he's on a phone or something now.
T's on his shit. That's what he's doing.
What?
I was gonna say, I never hear Juice like radio silence. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I keep trying to talk. And you guys keep talking over me, so I just wonder why. I'm like right in front of my mic.
Yeah, you so something, and now we're talking at the same time, and I hear you. So somebody must be like drowning you out.
I hear you just fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I don't have any issue.
I gotta go to that web for internet channel. I don't know.
Whoa.
What were we talking about?
I mean, you are like thousands of miles away too.
Talking
So.
about Kirby.
Oh, I was
Well,
gonna say, you know, Clocked It was talking about
stuff. Yeah, go on.
yeah. You were talking about getting more of the double A's, and we did get some of those. We got Crafted World and Star Allies, but those were like to carry the first half of the year. Those weren't just to fill in between the big releases. Those were the big releases for the first half of 2 years in a row now, where they relied on these. I don't even know double A. I'd call them single A, very safe games that
Still counts as
that they
double A.
use to carry like the first 6 months of the year, and it's like that's the wrong use for those types of games, in my opinion.
And how come
And Mario
we don't
Tennis
have,
also, you know.
how come we don't have like spin-offs like fucking a Splatoon adventure or some shit? You know what I mean? Like
And what Nintendo needs to be, I think, they've said they were doing it more, but you need to do it a lot more. Just outsource random project like what they did with, for example, Fire Emblem Heroes. I mean, I like the Heroes games. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. But Fire Emblem Heroes
The
is
Hero
a great
games are fine,
fucking
but they're games that don't need to come up that fucking frequently.
No, but I mean, like, you have random side games like that are like really. I mean, Fire Emblem Heroes, that's like leagues above fucking Kirby and Yoshi put together, for example, and that's not even Nintendo doing it. That's what I mean. They need to have more of those games to companies like that they trust instead of doing everything themselves in super small amounts.
To be fair, they've been branching out certain IPs. I mean, and Furukawa mentioned in his in like the investor meeting questionnaire that they are still pushing to like experiment with their IPs and have them be used by different companies. Like the Wii U era I feel like it was more out of desperation, in the sense of like trying to get those games out there. Whereas now they're like, well, now we can kind of do it at our own pace. The trade-off is it takes longer to get those kind of experimental games. And that's kind of the problem for a lot of like hardcore Nintendo fans. They're like, Kirby was okay. Eat a dick, Yoshi. Like we've gotten to that point. We're in that like weird middle ground where we're like, I kind of want you to push the envelope again, because the games I'm looking forward to for the Switch currently, most of them are like third-party titles, I think, right now.
Well, I mean, literally right now, we don't really have any idea what.
Well, that's the main thing. I feel like, personally, I do still feel that this year will be that year. They'll have a lot more of their more unknown franchises that haven't seen a lot of love on consoles in a while. Like I expect either Paper Mario or Mario and Luigi, one of those two, and I think it'll probably be more likely to be Paper Mario than anything.
There's also shit like there's also shit like so Nintendo fuck, what was I gonna say?
You don't even know.
Games like they're bringing back all these IP, you know, like they're working kinda with Star Fox, kinda with Donkey Kong, but it's like at this point after like 3 years, there's no reason to not have like great new games in those franchises, for example.
Well, yeah, they experimented with stuff. I mean, you know, I talk about, you know, we all talk about the older games, like the Golden Suns and stuff, but, you know, something like an Advance Wars is not going to be a huge, massive project for them, you know, so I expected to see an Advance Wars by now. It's like even later on in the 3 years of life, I mean, me and T, you know, we mentioned like Codename Steam and stuff. That was a Nintendo game, another experiment. You know, just to try something new, just a small budget.
That game was so much better than what it sold. I'm so mad about what that game sold, because that game was way better.
How much did it sell? Because I bought
that. It sold like less than 100,000.
If you want to talk about ports and stuff, I know we mentioned like Kid Icarus Uprising, but I prefer the new game of Kid Icarus.
The problem with Kid Icarus is that was Sakurai, so that would imply Sakurai takes a break.
I would take a port of that would work really well with the Switch. Ever Oasis. I know that was
Ever Oasis.
That
game kind of died on 3DS.
It came out so late, dude. That was the problem.
Yeah, it was not wrong with the game. It just came late.
What I wanted to say with that is that let's say you have games that are like, you know, really like underground at this point, if you want to, like Golden Sun you mentioned, Advance War, or even, and I hate that I have to put it in this list, but at this point it belongs, or even shit like F-Zero, you know, it's like, don't give me those dream games, but you have standard shit like fucking Donkey Kong, for example, you know, certain games just should be here at this point.
That's because Donkey Kong has kind of a weird fucking history as of late. Like if it wasn't because of retro, what was the game before that? Wasn't that like a fucking racing game?
No, you have Donkey Kong Returns. They brought it back.
No,
and
I'm
then
saying
brought it
I
forward.
said
Jungle
before
Beat with the
retro.
bongos. And shit.
Oh,
Yeah, before retro.
Hey,
What was
listen, I'll defend Jungle Beat, man. Jungle Beat.
I'm not saying
Jungle
Jungle
Beat is a good game.
I'm not saying Jungle Beat is a bad game, but I'm saying
And
like,
it's experimental type shit.
DK
You know,
switches hands.
GameCube, like I said.
DK for some reason switched hands a good bit. Like it went from like because didn't Rare work on the first few games?
First four.
First four. It went from Rare, then it went to Nintendo, and Nintendo didn't really do a lot.
Nintendo was being Nintendo.
Nintendo didn't know what the fuck to do, and then Retro took over, and then Retro kind of guided it back to greatness. So it was kind of like DK switches a lot of fucking hands for some reason. And because Retro's working on Metroid, I don't expect them to do anything with it, or if they do, it's gonna be like another weird.
I don't know if Nintendo themselves were ever like fully interested in doing a Donkey Kong platform. You know, like the history, like with
They had to be
Rare
pushed to do that shit.
and everything like that. Like it's mostly Rare's idea.
Yeah,
yeah, because they asked them. They said, "What do you want to work on?" We said, "We want to work on Donkey Kong."
Maybe
Miyamoto probably didn't know what to do with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Yeah, and we didn't. That's why we didn't see much from them, and why we still don't.
Well, that's why I was
Boy
mentioning. That's the reason why I was mentioning the Retro about the reason why you wouldn't see a Donkey Kong game. I'm like, well, because the developer who would be working on them is working on another title
right now.
Ironically enough, I think Nintendo has a problem with having some of their lesser franchises not having like hardcore, like seeded developers. Because if you have Metroid and fucking Donkey Kong really being seeded with Retro, but Retro isn't getting out games that quickly, like that means you're getting.
We were hoping Retro would be the new Rare. That was the hope.
And Retro, and in terms of game quality, let's be fair.
Game quality, they're there.
They're
no
there,
doubt.
but in terms of speed, it's like what the fuck.
Well, they had a good streak there with from Metroid Prime 2 to 4 or to 3, then the
between GameCube and Wii,
Donkey Kong Returns, the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. There was only a 3-year gap between those games.
But the thing is,
that all changed.
But the problem now is that now they're both are in need of a new game, and because they're only really working on one, when we know they're working on Metroid, it's like you're probably gonna wait a while before seeing DK again.
And it seems like Retro has been helping out with a bunch of other stuff. Remember, weren't they helping out with Mario Kart and stuff like? You know what I mean? Like Retro. They're dipping their hands.
They probably helped out in Breath of the Wild too. I would think.
No, I thought that was Monolith that helped with Breath.
I think more people helped out. That was a huge team. So
realistically, I think Retro needs to expand. And from what I've heard, they have been. Like I think recently today, they got like a DICE.
Yeah, they got one of the EA DICE dudes.
Yeah, they've been recruiting, and they need to, because I think realistically, there's a lot of talent over there, but I don't think they have enough people to really do multiple big projects. Because realistically, most of the fans are like, "Bruh, you guys can literally do Metroid and Donkey Kong, and I think we would all be good."
You think Retro is like recruiting to work on their secret game?
Well, all right. At this point, we're just gonna leave that alone. That's a dead topic. I'm done with that.
First of all, where the fuck's Pikmin 4? You know, like,
well, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah,
it's on your 3DS.
We're gonna. T is literally the most quoted man in the podcast.
We didn't talk about the potential. I think I don't even remember if we talked about it last week. The so-and-so saying there's two Wii U ports coming, and Pikmin 3 was mentioned, and 3D World.
3D World is the most likely. I don't know about Pikmin 3.
People keep listening to these damn people.
Why the fuck why would they bring us Pikmin 3 7 years after it came out instead of a sequel? I mean, it just.
Yeah, but you're talking about
Pikmin 3
you're talking about modern Nintendo though.
Yeah, well.
You're not talking about Wii U Nintendo.
But here's the thing about Pikmin 3 would make more sense if we knew it was coming out like in the next couple of months.
Yeah, Pikmin 3 would need to be announced like now.
Yeah, to be like a hidden game that, like, at this point on the Switch's life, I don't want to hear nothing about this shit anymore. Give me some new games.
It'd be so dumb.
So stupid.
I think the 3D Mario doesn't surprise me. What other game would you figure it would be if it's not Pikmin then?
Well, the only game that actually should still be ported, if any, would be like Project Zero. That game deserves like a good shot. Especially because you guys didn't even get it fucking physical.
We didn't get a physical copy here, so
Project Zero.
But I don't
Yeah,
understand.
Fatal Frame.
Oh,
Fatal
see,
Frame.
I'm so used to the English name. Like, what
Yeah,
the
Fatal
fuck
Frame
is Project
5,
Zero?
I don't understand the 3D World thing because we already had Odyssey and they're
Because
it's over 3 years because they said that game was done early in the year.
I better see a new Odyssey.
Nintendo
this
doing
year.
that same shit they
I
were
know,
doing
yeah,
back.
yeah. Oh God, man! I
To be-
swear,
They
I
have
really
enough
Do
talent.
you know what I want to happen when Nintendo releases the next console? I want them to port all their Switch releases.
Yeah.
I want to see what people say.
Yeah,
I
do that in
want
the
to see
first
what
couple
people
years.
say. Odyssey
Exactly.
didn't sell that well, so we're going to re-release it, and we'll give you some extra Luigi Balloon DLC for free.
Comment of the month, Classic. Comment of the month.
Oh my goodness!
That's
Hey,
perfect.
I
you know
want
what?
to see what people say.
Someone's gonna say, dude, but at least they're gonna make a profit, so you know they're gonna be able to
Yeah,
sell.
there's gonna be some bitches. There's always bitches. That say so.
The Switch only sold 70 million consoles compared to the Wii. There were 30 million people who didn't play Odyssey probably, so they could probably play it now.
Oh my goodness!
Bring that.
You're doing it too well, Clock. You make me want to punch you right now.
It's still like 4 mil.
You're making me angry right now.
Did it 3D World sell like 4 million? I mean,
It's all more than that.
3D World
4.5
more
to
than that.
5. It was close to
3D World's
5.
over 5.
Just under 5.
I mean,
Okay.
think about that, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That
but
ain't
for a
much
Mario
below
game,
Galaxy 2.
That's not enough, man.
I think for a Mario game, people they feel some type
Now,
of way.
3D
though.
Mario
Oh my
games never
God,
sell
dude, I
that
don't want to
high.
hear that for a Mario game. 5 fucking million, dude. Not many people get to 5 fucking million.
And
copies.
people didn't love it. It's not the real 3D Mario game, but
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
complaining
people
about that
shit.
game.
People shit talk the fuck out of 3D World.
But here's the thing: they can put out a new game. That team has put out new games, even if it's like going from Galaxy 2 to fucking 3D World, going from 3D World to Odyssey. They can put out a game in under 4 years, and by the time holiday hits this year, it'll be 3.5 years since they said Odyssey was done, which was early in the 2017.
Yeah, there should be an Odyssey 2, definitely. I definitely agree.
It doesn't even have to be Odyssey 2. They could have a brand new, completely just out there idea of a Mario game, and it be out holiday, and that fits with their timeline of the past.
Yeah.
Like, it's not asking for anything crazy. So, and you got Odyssey. So having 3D World, I love the game. It's one of, if not my favorite Wii U game. I think it's always a revolving thing there, but for me, but still, I love the game. And
I'd like to see them work on it.
But that game existed. It exists. You can play it. Like, if you have a PC and you just really can't see yourself buying a Wii U, you can download the CEMU emulator that I did just for shits and giggles yesterday, and get that shit for free if you really, even though I didn't see 3D World on there, so I don't know if I was missing something, but it's just like games come out on systems, and whether the system's a huge success or sells 20 million like the GameCube, and then the next system comes out and you just put out new games, and if somebody really wants to play that other game and you don't have the virtual console or anything, then they can buy a retro system and play it.
That's what I'm saying. Is like everyone's like, I keep hearing like, oh, it's on the prison box called the Wii U. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? You like what? Where? I never heard of this fucking bullshit. Where
Like,
it's
you can't buy that shit anywhere.
Just fucking buy it. You fucking poor bastard gotta buy a Wii U. Like, what the fuck, man? Like,
I love you, Robert.
Jesus
That's
Christ,
great.
like, if you did not care for 6 fucking years, you don't deserve to play the fucking game.
Exactly. There's such a
I
thing.
can imagine myself sitting around. Oh man, I would love to buy this game, but it's on some console I don't want to buy. I can't imagine that as a gamer saying some shit like making my lips to say some shit like that. I just can't see myself.
6 years,
Like,
people
what
like,
the
bitch,
fuck?
I got no money for 6 years. Like, dude, what do you mean?
But
You just bought a Switch and
You
3
can get a Wii U right now for like $130 used. Like, go get one.
and it doesn't
You
even
bought a
matter.
Switch and a Switch
Not that
play in
expensive.
300 games, but you got no money to buy a Wii U. Fuck off, bro. I don't know.
And it doesn't even matter that it was a failure.
Oh man,
I'm dying.
Guess what? If you want to play MotorStorm and MotorStorm Pacific Rift or whatever the second one was called, what do you got to do? You got to buy a PS3. It doesn't matter that the Wii U was a failure. I'm sure 3D World outsold both those games combined, I bet you. But if you want to play MotorStorm, you got to fucking play it on a PS3. Why is that such a new... That concept doesn't exist when it comes to the Wii U. Like,
Exactly.
it doesn't make any sense to me. There's always been games stuck on the past system. That's how it always been. It's only new
That's
now.
that bitch ass PC gamer bullshit that they're creeping into
It's
console.
clearly being shown, even with like the wonderful 101 now. And you know, like you made a good point. You know, there's only so many backers, but it's raised so much, blah blah blah. You know, but like the level of hype and engagement in these titles, you know, it just for me, it's another clear indicator that people chose hardware and popularity over the games. It's just in my mind, it's as simple as that because you're getting all these Wii U ports selling like crazy. Some of them not so much because they were niche anyway, whatever. But you're getting them selling, people begging for them, wanting for them, and it's clearly just that I don't want to play the Wii U because it's got a multi game
it's
pad
like
and the graphics are just like an Xbox 360. Whatever.
it's like, oh, I just bought this Toyota hybrid. I just bought this hybrid. I wish my hybrid looked and drove like a Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, how
They can't even use the excuse of saying, you know, I didn't want to use I don't want to use the gamepad for the wonderful 101. You could use other controllers, you know.
And it's like, you know what the thing is that the people that actually buy all these ports, you know, they're spending again 60 when they could be paying 20 for all these games.
Yeah.
And again, you're saving all that money by all you have to buy was a Wii U, and then you're spending $20 each for these games. I just blows my fucking mind. Especially
nobody told you to buy it or sell your Wii U. That was your fault.
And then everyone bitches, oh, what about the N64 games? Guess what? That's on Wii U too. Could get that there. And did you know that there's also eShop games on there? You could get that there. So fuck off. Just play your fucking Wii U.
Yeah,
God
there's
damn.
benefits to actually owning the console. Well, how about that? Holy shit.
Yeah, you got the virtual console, you got the Wii channel shit. Get the fuck out of here. You don't have a Wii U.
You got Netflix.
Yeah, that's a good point. You buy the Wii U and you have a Wii as well. If you didn't have a Wii,
but Wii is where
exactly.
you got the virtual console, you got the Netflix, you got a bunch of
Crunchyroll, you got all kinds of
Man,
shit.
I don't want to hear shit. You got internet browser.
you can hack it,
homebrew right there. Come on, get the fuck out.
So you think when the PS5 comes out, people are gonna be like,
"Oh, what you don't have though? You don't have Joy-Con drift." Oh.
Like when the PS5 comes out, and they'll be like, "Oh, why do I have to buy the PS4 version of God of War? Why can't I buy a PS5 version?" Like no one's gonna be asking.
Nobody's gonna say that. Nobody.
Why do I stuck playing the PS4 version?
Dude, they better re-release.
It's a new generation. It's fucking. You get new games. You should be expecting new games. And yeah, you might not be upset, or you just skip the ports. I mean, I'm skipping them.
That's fine.
But they're coming out like 2018. There was more ports, or as many ports as there was new games. So it's like
it's just that we always argued it's just when the ports get in the way of new games.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a
well,
fact
you can't prove that. You can't prove the ports getting in the way.
Well, where's fucking? Yeah, you
we
can.
have gone 3 years, and we haven't seen a Donkey Kong. You know, we haven't seen a 2D Mario. We haven't seen a Pikmin. You know, and you go for the list. It's just that they have gotten in the way because
that doesn't prove anything, Clocky. That doesn't prove it, Clocker. It doesn't prove nothing.
It's factual that Mario Kart 9 is I think it's not coming out on Switch. Is only because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's no other.
No, it's because they made arms juice. Arms.
I think Mario Kart 9 would have been out this year, probably summer, if they hadn't done Deluxe. Probably. And I mean, even after ARMS, I'm sure.
Yeah, but this is the same thing as the. Sorry, just to cut you off there. This is the same thing with the Mario Kart team, where you had Mario Kart 7 and you had Mario Kart 8. These motherfuckers could do 2 games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure, was one, on the 3DS and stuff, but let's not act like they're crippled when it comes to making HD graphics. Like,
Oh, for sure.
Completely different game too. It wasn't like it was a port or a lesser version. It was completely different.
3D Land and 3D World, like a couple years apart.
Yeah, 3D Land. And I swear, again, that's another thing is that if they for some reason bring 3D World, it's such a failed opportunity to just do 3D Land in 3D World. It'd be the first time ever having 3D Land on HD.
I forgot all about 3D Land. Yeah, fuck me. So we had 3D Land, New Super Mario Bros. U, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Bros. 2, fucking all brand new fucking Mario games.
Oh, and it got ports at the same time. It got Legend of Zelda, it got Star Fox.
Yeah.
So it could do both. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I don't know, man.
Nintendo teams.
I don't know. I mean, we got to see, again, I'd be shocked if there's not a direct this month. I mean, I'd be super shocked to see.
I wouldn't be. I mean, I think
You
it will
wouldn't?
be. Well, I'm saying I think there will be a direct, but I'm saying I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't.
Well, he did
Okay.
say
No.
Furukawa said they're not gonna change their plan for 2020, and I you know how I always bring up how especially like the NFL, somebody does something that's successful, then they all emulate it, and then
Yeah.
the Switch comes out, has a release or has the info, announcement in January. System launches 2 months later. It's a huge success. Now you got Xbox and PlayStation barely telling us anything the year the
Right.
systems are coming out, and I think Nintendo's gonna do what they did. Oh, last year we had a February Direct. We had a bunch of surprise games. We had 3 big surprise games, and we had our best year of the Switch so far. So let's just do that again. And I really hope that's what they're doing, because if they really don't have anything major or just maybe 1 or 2.
What would be major for you? What would be like major for you personally?
Animal
Like
Crossing New Festival
a new
2.
3D Mario game, Pikmin 4, Donkey Kong Country
Zelda.
game, Breath of the Wild 2 making it out this year. That's the type
Imagine.
of stuff. F-Zero Wave Race. Those are always fantasy dream stuff. But something like a Mario Maker 2, Astro Chain out of nowhere coming, getting announced and released in the same year. That I really think that's what they're gonna do, and I really hope they do. I still think the first half's gonna be really light. Like that's another thing they've been doing too, is have the smaller games in the first half and then have a.
I don't know, man. It's pretty
That makes
stacked.
me angry.
I know you don't. I know you don't care about it, Juice, but I was gonna say that too. Animal Crossing is absolutely fucking massive, and no matter what, short from maybe Breath of the Wild, it's like the biggest game we've seen in like years. Like it's gonna sell so fucking insane, and you can see the quality and the work they put into that. And Animal Crossing requires like around the clock fucking updates. That gives it basically a game every single day, real time, with all the events they do in the game. The previous games had like fucking shit ton of free DLC all the time. Like Animal Crossing is really goddamn huge.
But
I
here's the
mean,
thing
it's a
about Animal
big
Crossing. If you
game
don't-
for. Oh, go ahead, T.
No, I was just gonna say I'm gonna speak on your behalf. If you don't care about Animal Crossing, this Animal Crossing, what's the name of the subtitle?
New Horizons.
New Horizons ain't moving your ass, and it's not making you want to buy it at this point. So there's a lot of people who haven't been on Animal Crossing and aren't gonna get on it with this new one that are still waiting, and they've been waiting since probably Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, I wasn't
something that
talking
speaks to
about.
them.
I wasn't saying Animal Crossing is small by any means. It's gonna sell really well, but the thing is, if like T said, if that's one game that we know about, and we know Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered, whatever, but the one thing about even how it could be huge, even Zelda comes out. Not everybody is interested in Breath of the Wild. If you don't have anything else, then that's you're relying on one game where you have people who like a variety of genres and stuff, and it's like that's why even if it was a Mario Tennis or a Crafted World level type of game where it's not like they're not this huge massive game, but it's solid games and stuff, like just need some more variety. And so for the first half of the year, Animal Crossing's the only game with a release date from Nintendo for 2020. Like it's the only one.
When's Xenoblade against say?
They didn't
We
say
don't have a
just
date.
2020,
Yeah,
or did it even say that?
I thought it was early. I thought it was early.
It's in April or May. It's
Yeah, that's probably gonna be a
There's-
summer
there's
game.
no-
To be fair.
There's no question in my mind that Nintendo's gonna have like at least 2 like games come out of nowhere that are gonna be like holy fucking goddamn shit. Then they're gonna release like a few months after they reveal.
Well, if they stop putting resources into dog shit Winter Olympic games and give us some Mario sports titles, some proper Mario
Well, I mean,
golf.
isn't that Sega? I think it's Sega.
Yeah, I think that's Sega. Hold on,
Sega develops those games.
So Nintendo has nothing to do with the development of the game?
let me check.
I don't think so.
Let me
do.
check.
So
Let me check.
Visor Grunt, he said he don't care about Animal Crossing. His next game will be Xenoblade, which is I kind of have some thoughts on. His last game before that was Astral Chain, so he's gonna go from Astral Chain to whenever
Astral
Xenoblade
Chain
Chronicles.
whenever.
Emil, you gotta try
Xenoblade
out
Chronicles could
Instrument,
be.
yeah?
Xenoblade Chronicles
a
could be
remake, by the
that
way.
could be
It's
a
not a new game.
fall game. Like that could be
Yeah, I
that
think
could
it's
be
kind of a
October.
that kind of shit. Yeah.
We definitely put a lot more
That bitch
pressure
better not
on.
be in no damn fall.
I
Dude,
feel like
I'm
we
thinking
do
that's
some-
gonna be a summer game,
All
personally.
right, let Clocked got something.
So I just gonna quickly say that we do put a lot more pressure on Nintendo. I feel in terms of delivering first party and second party software more regularly than the other. We don't expect it from Sony and Microsoft. We know they don't have those internal studios, and like I said, we've known that Nintendo have always catered to two platforms, for most of their lives. So there is a lot of pressure, and maybe sometimes it can be too much pressure, especially for our tastes. Sometimes when we do, even like AA from us from Nintendo is still a certain level of quality, and content, and stuff. So, but like I said, it goes back to us saying that I expected more.
Well,
Well,
that's
they've
what I was
done
gonna say,
more.
because you say that you expect we put so much pressure on Nintendo, but if you realistically look at it, how many of like the big Nintendo games are even done by fucking Nintendo? Like even going back to the Wii U, like Star Fox was fucking platinum. Even like this year, like a lot of the big games were like all
Like
small
Next Level.
studios.
I like
Yeah,
2017,
like
Breath of the Wild was a Wii U game.
Luigi's Mansion wasn't even Nintendo, I think. With
Well, they
the
had-
Grasso
No, it's
made it, I
Next
think.
Level.
They're always there. They're always there.
Next
Yeah, but
Level.
that's the thing.
was
What,
the
they
goal.
standing in the
always
corner
there,
smoking a
but-
cigarette?
even something like Breath of the Wild, where they have like so much input from more stuff, they're making games with other teams and not doing much really themselves of the scale we are just used to. It's not like we're asking a lot; we're just simply not getting a lot.
Well, I mean, it's hard because you're also talking about the developer who puts out the most games consistently. Like there is no other developer who puts out as many games as Nintendo does. So it's of course when you're at
That's
the
not
top.
saying a whole lot.
Well, it's not no, but but they've been like that.
On its
years.
face, obviously, they put out a lot of
Yeah,
games.
it's not like it. But my thing is like that's been almost that's been the rule for a while now. Like Nintendo consistently for at this point for decades was putting out like the most games, and they still do that now.
I definitely agree with that, because I'm talking this from the perspective of like what Juice was saying, where he can find a lot, because people mention like the droughts these days. I have enough to buy from Nintendo. I didn't even buy everything from last year from Nintendo. I still don't even have fucking Link's Awakening, which I was really looking forward to. Like there's enough. There's definitely a fuckload coming, but I guess when you're looking at really
to me that's more of a subjective statement. Now, if you're comparing Nintendo to the way they used to be, that's one I can. Okay, fine, that's a fair argument.
Yeah,
but like I'm saying, but I'm talking about in terms of like you as a gamer, in terms of right now, do you have anything to play from Nintendo that you may not have finished from last year? And I'm like with you, Retro. I have other shit from last year. I didn't even finish. I barely started Astral Chain. I'm still playing things like Dragon Quest. Like I got games to play on my Switch. It's not like that's not my issue. I guess the issue I believe is just more so that like Nintendo used to do more, but at the same time, like
with less. That's the thing. They used to do more with less install base, less. I guess you would say less development studios, because they were on the handheld stuff. They were on the handheld side as well. So they did more when they had less. That's my problem.
I think honestly,
and they're so safe. The Switch is such a safe ass console at this point. As far as
to be fair, I think they needed to do that though.
No, I actually think the opposite, because at this point they have like 52 million sold. This is the moment where you can shit out lesser games and people will fucking buy it.
It's year 4, man. It's year 4 coming up.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, you're saying that there's games you didn't buy last year, but
I'm saying
I played every game. I've played every game on the Switch that I intend to play. Like it's played and beaten. Like I'm just sitting here waiting. Other than Smash, obviously that's an ongoing game. Like I'm just sitting here waiting, and it's like last year.
Expand your horizons, Juice.
Yeah, I mean I'll be playing on fucking. I mean PS4 and I just haven't decided where. I think I'm gonna get Ori on Steam. I believe it's on Steam.
Doesn't that come out? Is that this week?
Comes
or next
out
week?
Next week or the week after. So, I mean, I got stuff to play. Just not. I'm just looking at from a Nintendo standpoint. If I go from October 31st to, I mean, May, June, hopefully, September, October. Who knows when the next fucking game that Nintendo. I'm just speaking from Nintendo. I'm not talking about the Switch's library. I'm not talking about having stuff to play. But just looking at Nintendo, I never had to wait that long having the handheld and the home console since the GameCube. But it's when I had.
I can solve your problem very easy, Juice. And I'm gonna say the same thing that I said today to my brother who doesn't even have a fucking Switch. You will not regret this, Juice. Buy Animal Crossing.
I have Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Also, Juice, I don't mean to shit on your radio, but I don't know if you know that Ori got delayed to March 11th.
Oh, did it? Well,
yeah,
it's not that far.
That's totally shitting on a parade right there.
That's not that far though. If you would have said like September, I can wait a couple weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever.
It's like a month.
Well, because you said like next week. I'm like, oh god, dude.
That sucks because that comes out right before Doom.
Right.
But either way, like I have Animal Crossing New Leaf. I got it for free on the 3DS, and I mean, I tried it. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it just does nothing for me. And I played the one on the DS. I watched my girlfriend play a lot, and I just don't get it. It's just.
There's cats living in your village.
No, real quick. I want to put this in the context because when I was a kid, and actually up until even the Wii era, I was like this. I went like giant chunks of time without really getting new games. Like, I guess for me, I'm kind of. No, I mean, like in general, like I didn't have money, so I'm kind of. This is actually more than what I used to get. Yeah. Like for me, I didn't play a lot, so I didn't get to play.
No, but we're speaking from excitable Nintendo, like core Nintendo fans. We're talking about like Nintendo games, the stuff that gets us excited. The reason we go out day one blindly and buy that Nintendo console, we haven't had like a WoW game from Nintendo in quite some time. And then, when we do, we get, Luigi's Mansion is freaking amazing.
It's phenomenal.
But it's not that big experience, like that bigger tier experience that I expect to be surprised by Nintendo. I haven't really been surprised by them yet.
In that line, though.
But and also, something could come out. The direct could come out, and we wouldn't even be having this conversation if we.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah, that's what I hope. But let's
2D Metroid. I know that people.
Let's get to the questions here. We gotta get a few questions. We won't answer all of them because some of them would take too much time.
Don't we still need to talk about how awesome Byleth was, or did we already do
I
that?
wish I forgot all about it. Wish you would have said something earlier.
Yeah, it's fine.
Retro definitely needs to say something though, because he needs to.
Yeah, I'll just quickly mention on Byleth's part, like I said it when we started playing, like I gotta eat a lot of my words. Like I fucking love his character. Like I didn't realize that because I thought, oh, this special move to the side is the X, special move down is the lance. No, like I barely remember using a sword. She has all these fucking cool weapons. She looks flashy and sexy as fuck. And I like that she plays like a heavy character with these like, you're fighting with the axe and the shit. And man, it's like such a good fucking character. And it just needed to be said by me.
Yeah, I mean, there was this guy that from this podcast who made a video right after his reactions telling people to quit crying and that it looks like one of the coolest characters out of all the DLC. Based on just the direct, I know it was one of us.
And I'm still gonna say I don't give a shit. She looks like a Fire Emblem character, purple hair, same bullshit. I don't care. She doesn't move me visually. What? No, I like I said it in that
Pick
video.
The Edelgard
that
version.
She might play wonderful, but I just don't care. Like I don't. A lot of characters play wonderful that I already have. Like so, that doesn't move me. I need to be surprised. Again, I need some surprise. I need something.
I was definitely surprised.
That was definitely
by
surprised.
reveal.
I will say, I guess if anybody else wants to, now that I've played all 5 DLC characters, my rank from favorite to least favorite is number 1, Byleth, number 2, Hero, number 3, Terry, number 4 Banjo, number 5 Joker. From playing them, playing and actually their moveset and how I feel about
You have them all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got
buy
the
the
fighter
pass?
pass thanks to I forget who donated that to me. I'm sorry. It's been a few months. I appreciate it. I mean, I wouldn't have bought Byleth. I wouldn't have bought Terry, but they're and I definitely would have bought Hero, and they're the best in my top 3 easily. And I think Byleth's easily the best of the bunch as far as just playing the moveset. And she's a great character. I mean, I don't know the character. I like her is it Edelgard?
Yeah, Edelgard.
Yeah, that's she's badass.
If you know Byleth, you call her Teach.
And you have my axe. I kept saying every time I get a kill with the axe.
I was going to say, it kind of falls in line with what T said just then, like, how T still doesn't care, because of Fire Emblem character and stuff. And, if you didn't have the fighter pass, no matter what Retro might say, no matter what Terrell might say, trust me, this
right here with me.
You'd still be right there saying, no, fuck that, I'm not buying it. So sometimes,
but I was convinced,
being forced into these things is the best way.
Yeah, but I will say I did watch the direct, and my first reaction was that looks like a really cool character. I can't say one way or the other if I would have bought it. I have no idea. It's impossible, hypothetical to try to put myself in that mindset. I probably wouldn't have.
In the past.
But I was still impressed by the moveset when I saw the breakdown, even before I played as her.
Do not donate the fighter's pass to me, people. Please don't. Don't do it.
I just gotta eat my words. Like the lance, axe, and bow moves are just so cool and awesome. Like, I don't know, man. I just really like her as a character.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
Robert? Okay.
I only got to play some matches with her when I was streaming, and I mean, I was, I wasn't very good, but
that's because your format. You play one match every 30 minutes, so.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, yeah.
I guess I'm all by myself.
That's the depression art.
I forgot to.
I guess real quick.
I gotta go on. I gotta share that clip from the Twitch stream. It wasn't Byleth.
Don't share no damn Super Bowl clips.
No.
No. He's talking about the amazing. I don't know how to describe it. That shit was ridiculous.
I gotta play it for people who haven't seen it.
Juice defied logic.
It was like. It looked like pro player moment. Like
it looked like you fucking intended, and then when you told me later that isn't even what you were trying to do.
I was trying to spot dodge.
You were trying to spot dodge, and I was like, that shit. I think your what happened was cooler than what you were trying.
But it worked. Yeah, it worked out better. It looked better.
It looks better, but it was so close, son.
All right, I'm gonna put it on the screen for.
Yeah, put it on the screen. I don't want to
with audio so people can hear your reaction.
Yeah,
so everybody be quiet for a second.
Needed a break from Dad at War. Yeah, that's the short version.
Quiet.
Here it is. Watch this.
Oh shit! That's nuts.
That
was nuts. This man ducked.
I'll mute it and I'll just show it again, because it happens fast. Like
so
I literally
quick.
just ducked by a pixel his smash. Final smash and then hit him with the up smash.
Kirby does that arc swing and fucking miss by like an inch. It was like
a pixel. I mean, it was, and then the fact that
you were so quick with the up smash.
It's like I knew exactly what was gonna happen. I was like, and then I was so quick to the taunt too. So I was just like, it worked out. It was my best moment ever playing Smash.
That shit was some god tier permission. I was shook.
Because I didn't even know Kirby. I forgot what Kirby's was, so that was just everything happened.
Also, I think it was partially because you fucking also. I think you were missing your.
And I kept missing with the up smash, so
you kept missing your up smashes the whole match. So like the one time he gets it, wins the match. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ducking is something I don't even do. I didn't even think about it.
Well, because it's weird because it's a viable strategy for certain characters, but it never.
I do it with Wii Fit all the time. I get because she does like the push-up position.
Well, that's because Wii Fit has a janky ass.
And you can dodge a lot of stuff, but I mean that's just I couldn't do that again if I tried. Like that was so perfect, the duck, and then the up smash.
It was so well planned.
And then Kirby hits the screen. Everything. It was just an amazing.
It was I just was very proud of.
All right, get to the questions.
All right, it was awesome.
Let this man have his
So
moment, goddammit.
Dave97 asks, have any of you ever played the Virtual Boy? Have any of you ever owned one? I say no and no.
No.
No, I
would
know,
like-
but I do own games for it.
Yes and
I
yes.
would like to, but nah.
No, you don't. You don't want to own that shit.
I do, yo. I do. That'd be fucking dope.
You better
No,
own
I
some
never-
batteries too, a bunch of them.
Yeah. I said a long time ago,
I
Nintendo
have
should
a lot
put
of
the games.
batteries next to me, actually. A whole case.
I
Yo.
still wish Nintendo would have released like a Virtual Boy collection for the 3DS.
For the 3DS,
Yeah.
I said it a long time ago.
What,
They
those
should have
6
done that.
games they released?
Yeah.
Those 4 or
Just
6
12,
games?
I think.
And then I think there's like, I thought it was like 6 or 8 or some
Yeah.
shit, but
I
enough
think-
to make like a collection out of it.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Especially because there's one that's like wicked fucking expensive.
Did anybody play
That's
it
all
though?
they are. They're just, 3D games. That's all
Actually,
they
you
are.
know what? I
Yeah.
lied. I think I played it at Toys R Us. They had a demo. I think I played whatever the launch game was. It a tennis game or something? I played
Mario
it for probably 10 minutes. Yeah, that was it. That's the only time I've ever seen one too in person.
I'll definitely try one, but just no and no. I never. I've never even touched one. I've never seen one in person. Actually, that's a lie. When I've been to game fairs and stuff, I've seen them there, people selling and stuff, but I've never, picked it up or anything.
I bet if I dig in my garage, I can find parts of one. I'm serious. I'm sure I have something of one left.
Yeah. All right, Dave97. This has been a good question for talking about the Wonderful 101 though. What are your thoughts on games being funded through Kickstarter? Have you ever supported one? I don't have a problem with games being funded if that's if they put a presentation up and it looks like a game you want. The only problem I have is you're not guaranteed any kind of quality result, So I've never supported one myself. Just like with the Wonderful 101, I'll wait till that port comes out. If I was interested in it, I want it to know that the PC version, if that was the one I was looking at, has some actual is a solid, because PC sometimes has problems having optimization because of all of the possibilities with PC, and Platinum's not this huge studio, so there's no guarantee that's going to be a well optimized game. So I've always just look at it like there hasn't been one, like maybe if Wave Race, if someone's like, Wave Race Kickstarter, maybe, but still, I
remember saying that. I was gonna say,
whoop Nintendo's ass.
I just remember saying that the only 2 games that would ever get me to support something on Kickstarter would be Shenmue 3 and Panzer Dragoon Saga 2, right? And after seeing what happened, what I knew was going to happen with Shenmue 3, and then it coming to fruition, I didn't even back that. So, and I would not even back Panzer Dragoon Saga 2 because I just don't. Like you said, Juice, it's just I need to see the end game. I need to see the end
the end game.
I like what Kickstarter brings. I like the idea that you can help, for example, small studios that maybe couldn't get what they wanted, or in a case, for example, like Shenmue 3, whatever, you can put your money where your fucking mouth is. So, okay, the studio now wants to make this game you want, fucking make it. I backed 3 in total, and I regret none of it, even my first one, which was Mighty Number 9. I knew what I was going to get gameplay-wise. I do feel I was cheated with the graphics in that one, because the original engine they showed was fucking amazing, and that's not what we got in the end. It played good, but it looked like trash. The other 2, though, I'm 100% happy with that. The ukulele, I backed the original ukulele, and I fucking love that game. And I backed Battle Chasers when Digital went down with THQ Nordic, the Darksiders team. Joe Matt, who made Darksiders, he did comics from Marvel in the past, and he made the Battle Chasers comic, and he wanted to make a game out of it, and that's the one I backed, and I love that game as well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess
I only backed one ukulele, and I was very happy with it. So I don't have a whole lot of experience. I'm just really particular about what I would back anyway. So
it's funny. I think I've gotten to that point now than I used to be. I used to be a lot more frugal. I think back then I backed Shantae, I backed ukulele, I backed Mighty Number 9, and I think of the last few years, the only 2 I've backed was Bloodstain, which I'm relatively happy with, all things considered. I think my problem was more so the Switch version, which I think was the problem. Yeah, because the game itself wasn't bad. It's just other than I think I had like one gripe level design wise, but like the game overall wasn't bad. It was just the Switch version that was kind of disappointing, and that was the one I picked. And from what I heard, they didn't port that version. They had like another developer do that one, and the other one I just did was One for 101 because I feel like Platinum deserves it, and I'm fine. I'm only gonna do ones I trust the developer for it moving forward.
Did you back it for physical?
Yeah, back to shit
because it's pretty cheap, the physical one, I think.
That's the reason why I backed the physical one.
Let me ask this question before anybody else goes. Like, in my recollection, I know Ukulele seemed like it was a pretty lengthy, pretty full-featured game, but it seems like a lot of these Kickstarter games don't even come close to like just independent games that have like 2 people working on them. As far as like, you look at Axiom Verge, you look at Hollow Knight. Like, I don't see a lot of these games coming out and just being like.
Hollow Knight was a Kickstarter.
I bought like some of the end game. You know, I do buy the games I'm interested in later. Even though I haven't bought Shenmue 3, I'll get around to it. But I bought Battle Chasers. Another game I did buy was Satellite Ring, which is a spiritual successor to Syndicate, the old style Syndicate game and stuff. And that turned out really well. That just looked really polished. You can actually check out Satellite Ring on YouTube and stuff some other time. It's a really nice looking game. So they can get there.
Yeah, it depends on the developer.
Yeah, I'm not the type of person to take the gamble, but I'll buy the end game when they've made it. So I still support them.
Yeah, like
I need other people.
Go ahead, Retro.
Just because of what Juice said, so I wanted to say that Hollow Knight was a Kickstarter.
That was a Kickstarter.
I hated that I missed it. There's a mode on Steam, and I love that, and more Kickstarter games should do that. You can actually hit the, I think, Kickstarter subtitles, I know what they're called, and when you introduce the specific characters that were designed by backers, it says the name of the person who designed it. There's an area specifically in Hollow Knight, there's a graveyard where there's all these characters. All of those were made by Kickstarter backers. And then there's a few main characters also. A lot of the tiers, like the Colosseum. For example, Silk Song, that's coming out now, was a Kickstarter goal they did not make. But they're such good developers that they took a failed Kickstarter goal. And because they made money, they made it an entire fucking new game. That was like a really good Kickstarter. And I hated it that I missed that. Because I would have backed it to design a character in that game.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, certain ones I think I'm cool with. Like I think Shantae is kind of a weird situation with me because although I don't think it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't like, but I will agree it was kind of light on its content. It felt like, and then had DLC on top of it. Certain ones I'm cool with. Like Bloodstain actually has a lot of shit in it, but it really just depends on the developer whether or not you get a fleshed out game versus just like the core game and that's it.
Robert, go ahead, Robert.
I've backed one game, which was the Ukulele, and I mean, I didn't play a lot of it.
I didn't play a lot of Ukulele either, to be fair.
And it's one of those games where it's like, I remember when it first popped up, I was like, that sounds badass. I want to back it. I was in high school. I don't know when that was. I don't know. Maybe I think I was like 16. I feel like it's been a while now. And I remember that, and I backed it. Actually, probably was 15, and it just came out, and I totally forgot about it, and I haven't played it, like that much. But I do want to play it sometime. But I'm in the credits though.
All right, so we'll get to this question. This one should be pretty easy. Miguel Rose asks, who's your mains in Smash Ultimate? Let me drag this image over. I just posted this on Twitter. These are my my top characters, or the highest KOs per character, so my main obviously has been Wii Fit since Smash 4. I was surprised that Palutena was almost up there.
To be fair, we can't see them. The chat's kind of
I-
overlapping their faces.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So let me
Hey,
shrink it.
If you just drag it to the side a bit.
Oops.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So this isn't just online, right? This is
This is battle arenas and offline. This is not. I have 0 battles online other than the
So
battle
how many
arenas.
times? Like 270 times you defeated Zelda.
Wait,
Like, that's a
really?
lot.
This is how many KOs I have with these characters. So
I like to see that
So-
number
Oh,
set.
with
though.
the characters.
yeah.
Right, sorry, yeah.
So yeah, I was surprised that Palutena was almost in second for me. And
Yeah, you use
and
her
like
a
you
lot.
said, Rob's in my number 7. So I was really surprised by this, but obviously 3 stand out quite a bit above the rest. And
Does it give stats for the characters that you've actually KO'd with those
oh
characters?
yeah, there's all kinds of stats. There's like 20 different pages of stats. So those are my
Smash is nuts.
those are my mains. What do you guys feel? What are your mains?
I can go next real quick.
I was gonna say it was really quiet there.
Oh yeah, sorry. No. My mains right now would probably be Ike will always be in there. Palutena.
I love you playing with Ike. I'm seriously, I'm scared shitless in my pants when you play with Ike.
That's because you see if I get into a zone, it becomes a problem. So yeah, Ike, Palutena, Terry has become a new favorite, as I know Juice and Retro both know. That's become a new fave. And then I kind of rotate with like either Roy or fucking Sonic sometimes and Pac-Man. I think those are like my main 6.
Yeah, I would say Ike and Palutena are your 2 most played.
Oh yeah. Ike and Palutena are my. Actually, you know what? Let the other ones go. I'm gonna go.
And I think Incineroar is probably up there pretty decent.
It is.
Yeah, Terrell's Incineroar. I think you're pretty good with Incineroar too.
I think Juice is better. If I had to be honest, I think Juice is better.
I've gotten pretty
maybe,
decent.
but you're more annoying with him.
I think I was 3-0 with them the other night.
You were.
As for me, like my mains, I actually have my only amiibo I have out are in order of my favorite Smash characters on my shelf. DK is my main. After that, it's Morton, then Cloud, Pac-Man, and I put the Mii Fighter on 5th place, the Mii Brawler, because I just like playing with him. But I think I'm better with both Ridley and Zero Suit. I use Zero Suit almost never anymore since Ridley came out.
Yeah, and your Morton is like annoying as fuck, but you actually you do win. I mean, you do at least make the final 2 usually with when you use Morton. So
I think
I used to have
Morton
mains
is fun to play with.
what's that?
back in the. I was saying I used to have mains back in the N64 to Brawl era. I kind of play a lot with a lot of people now, but I guess the ones I use the most, that would be my mains, would be Duck Hunt Dog.
Fuck, you're a dick with Duck Hunt
I
Dog.
love my Duck Hunt Dog. Wario.
Oh, fuck your Wario too. That fucking bike. That fucking bike.
Lil Mac. I miss my Fox, but I feel like Fox has been nerfed since Melee.
Oh yeah, Wolf is better.
Yeah. Who else? One more.
I
know
can't
who's
think of
gonna
any.
be my main soon. I know who's gonna be my main. Oh yeah. What's his name? Cooper Jr.
Bowser Jr.
Yeah, Bowser Jr.
Bowser Jr. Sorry, yeah.
Retro
We all
loves him too.
seem to like use a different type of group of characters, don't we? It's like I use, if I was gonna have mains and stuff in this Smash, I always
Ken's
use
one of
them.
yours, I think.
Yeah, Ken, Simon Belmont, was up there. I always go back to my regular mains, which were Link and Samus. And then I'll dabble in Bowser Jr. and Sonic. But yeah, I mean those are the usual guys that I stick around with.
I'd be
I was
curious.
Linkin Fox forever.
I'd be curious who your number one. I think if I was to guess who you have the most KOs with, I would say it's probably Ken or Samus.
I reckon
was
it's
gonna say
Samus. I reckon Samus, yeah.
Well, mine is obviously just Rob or K. Rule, to be honest.
Fucking Rob.
I remember when you first started using K.
Fucking K.
Rule.
Rule.
We couldn't beat you, but then.
Because of you.
But I also posted like victories with each character, and it's like, it's not the same top 3. It's close. 3 and 4 are swapped, but like Wii Fit as far as victories, it's double Zelda. So I mean, there's multiple categories you can look at, but I feel the most comfortable Wii Fit. I feel like I go from just kind of competitive, slightly competitive, where I can actually I know exactly like her movesets. I start using her, I instantly start like crouching, using crouch attacks, using like more tilts and stuff than I do with other characters. So I think when you use somebody enough, then you really can access all their moves, muscle memory, and all that kicks in.
I do have I looked it up. My top 3 are Ike, Palutena, and Roy, and then Incineroar is 4th, which
That makes sense.
a little surprised. I don't know why I didn't think Roy was that fucking high, but I can get into his own way. And I've liked Roy since fucking Melee, so that's probably.
Well, he's our boy Roy.
Hey man, I was pumped when he was DLC before.
All right, let's just do this final question. I mean, there's more, but I'll do this one more. Nintendo are running out of first-party franchises to put on the Switch. So, which of these abandoned Nintendo franchises is most likely, and which one would you prefer? Wave Race, Pilot Wings, Excite Bike, and 1080 Snowboarding. If you had to pick from those ones.
We're all done. Oh, sorry.
Only of those. First of all, again, we're not running out, dude. We still got so many, but whatever.
I mean, I guess maybe if you want to add
alive.
one. If you want to add something he forgot. Wave Race instantly for me.
Oh no, it's Excite Bike for me.
I mean,
I'm voting Pilot Wings.
The only ones that I played was Pilot Wings. I played on the 3DS. I did play the Super Nintendo for like 5 minutes, but like
You played on Wave Race?
I never played.
I need to bring back. Remember when a few years ago when Wave Race came out on the Wii U Virtual Console, and it sparked me having a podcast about timeless gameplay.
Yeah.
And that was the catalyst because I played the game 3 years ago now, whatever it was, and it doesn't visually. The waves don't have the same impact they used to, but it's still. I mean, it is one of the best controlling games. It holds up to any game released today, like as far as a racer. I mean, the controls are just absolutely flawless.
I gotta play it one day.
So it's like I think with this new group, because I know for a fact that Leveled Head was on that. I think Nia was on that one, and it became a lot of. Well, this game had some pretty cool moments, and it got away from the actual. True, just at its core, the gameplay that just doesn't age. Like, it's just completely timeless. And I think Wave Race is the best example of a 3D game from, obviously from the N64 era that just still, everything about it, Mario 64 plays great, but you still have the awkward camera at times. And, there's some things that don't quite hold up, but I think Wave Race is just, to me, and I don't know that they'll ever do it, but it just, or that it will be.
A new way to play it.
Yeah,
but that was Nintendo EAD as well, man. That was their top magical game.
I thought it was NFT.
But I'll actually,
that was Bluestone.
I'll say
Bluestone was an NFT. That's right.
I'll say Excite Bike because maybe you could do like some track editor stuff. Remember? I played the World Rally one right in the WiiWare. Remember that?
No.
Who?
Did you play?
The WiiWare one, yeah.
I never downloaded
exclusive.
That was cool though. You had the track editor.
Good.
I like that shit.
So it was a throwback to the original one.
Yeah.
Anybody got another game that he didn't list that popped into mind when I said that? When I read the question. Oh yeah, he didn't say F-Zero because everyone would pick that.
Endless Ocean. That's one I never played that. That shit looked awesome.
You didn't play Endless Ocean?
I mean, it's kind of.
When I was young, I wasn't looking for Endless Ocean, to be honest.
Okay.
It was. I mean, it's like, to me that was just like.
It looks cool.
Watching watching like the Planet Earth series. Like it was cool, but there wasn't a whole lot you were doing. But it was a nice experience. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's an experience. It's not like a.
Yeah, it's not really a game, but it was cool, taking photos and stuff.
And that was a Nintendo. That was Nintendo, right?
Yeah, it was.
Pokemon Snap. Everybody want Pokemon Snap? Well, there you go in the Wii.
Well, again, there you go. That's another kind of like.
I mean, I would say Kid Icarus could, probably been on there because.
Yeah. To be honest,
I didn't play Uprising, but everybody who did said it was pretty awesome.
Uprising is great.
Yeah, I gotta play it.
All right, so we'll save the other questions for another time because I didn't think we'd literally, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this because it seems stupid
Say
because I
this shit
say it
every
all the
night,
time.
every
But I thought
podcast.
for sure like I'd have to like we'd have to talk about. I thought we were gonna talk about Byleth and a bunch of other stuff, but it's like, yeah, we just got stuck. Got in a conversation, and just had a lot more opinions on stuff than I expected. So we'll get to the few other questions, or the few left questions next week, and but feel free to add more. There were some decent ones in there, and yeah, well, no, I said last week I thought maybe there'd be a direct to talk about, and I'm gonna keep saying that until there is one because I think it.
Well, that's to be fair. That's how everybody on YouTube does it.
Yeah, I think we'll just won't plan on it, but you never know. Next week we could have a shit ton of stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
So,
you never know.
Yeah, we'll be back. Thanks everybody for
Never
tuning
know.
in. Thanks for the questions, and we'll be back to do it all again next week. See ya.